Okie dokie. If anybody pops in, if you could just let me know if you could hear me, that'd be perfect. Never quite sure with this microphone, you know what I mean? Hello there, guys. How's it going? Super. Thank you, Mike and Claire. Hello there, KPMV and Doug. How's it going, guys? It's nice to see you. Hope you are keeping well. Clearly, we're having some issues with the live chat panel not working. Well, that's streaming for you. I will try to get that fixed, but basically, yeah, the plan for today is we're going to catch up on the Discord. We're going to catch up with you guys, basically, spend some time with you, see what you've been getting up to, see what you've been shooting. I do want to finally do the NGC 7000 Cygnus Wall Processing Challenge video that we were talking about, where I asked people to submit their images, and I was going to work through and, well, basically provide critique on all of those. They've been submitted with the understanding that that's what's going to happen, basically. So I've been wanting to get to that, and I've finally decided to do it today. And then, depending on how much time we have left, go through some of the images on the Discord itself as well, the normal Astro images part, because I realise I've got some catching up on there to do as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to do. First things first, though, let's try to fix this chat panel so I can see you guys properly on the stream. So, let's get comfy for that one. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit awkward having... you know, me having to look across all the time to read things. Should only take a moment, I think. Here we are. See if this connects up the chat with any luck. And apologies about the technical issues. That's streaming for you. This was working fine last time out, and today it's broke, so you know what I mean. I promise I will catch up on all the messages in the live chat too in just a sec. I guess I'll pull that across for now while we fix this up. But yeah, it's good to be live. I was wondering whether I should try to do a like a normal video over the coming couple of days or something. I've just been that busy, basically, with other live stuff that's finally needed catching up on. But I thought, nah, let's do a live stream. They're more fun, more interactive. We can, you know, just get to chat to one another in real time. It's pretty good. So that's the plan. Now then, if I pop this on here, you should be able to see at least part of things. Chat is still, unfortunately, broken. Fix that up as well. Here we go. We've refreshed it. Superb. So that should be that. We've fixed the technical glitches, and now I can get on with just saying hello to you guys. So yeah. Mad Mike, KPMV, Astronomy with Claire, Doug Berger, Mike1959, Sean OD, Mark Faraday. Hello, chaps. It's good to see you all. Alexander de Mage, I suppose. I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong there, Alexander. Ian Barker, Hiderabadi Astro, Joshua, and Kenneth and Fruity. Good to see you all, chaps, and ladies, that is. I always appreciate you coming and spending some time with me. It is always a real pleasure. It's a highlight for me, so I hope you enjoy them. But yeah, as I've said, we do actually have a plan for this stream, finally. So I've been promising that we're going to get through this for the longest time. didn't actually succeed, so we're going to do it. That's the aim of this stream. You know, people took the time to process that data. So what we're looking at is basically in every case, but apart from just a couple of their own submissions, it's going to be a known set of data that will be providing feedback on. So that's a really good opportunity for people to learn. Chapette, yeah, chaps and chapettes. That's perfect, actually, Josh. Good evening. Oh, mate, yeah, Thursday treat. Sounds like a very full schedule. I tell you what, Mike, good news is, mate, things should ease off a little bit very, very soon. So, yeah, hopefully get back to normal stuff then. But, yeah. Super. Yeah, it looks like everything's working. Excellent. Hope all is well with the family and everyone's doing well. Absolutely, Mike. Yeah, we're all doing cracking, dude. It's been a good time. No complaints. Nice to touch base. It is, Kenneth. I absolutely agree. Yeah, and OTS Cymax, evening to you too, mate. So I'll tell you what, let's just kick things off straight away. Before I do dive into this, by the way, I always love to see if people's got any new gear they want to post. So we're going to have a look at that first. I've already reacted to this. So this was Citizen Fortress. Next up, Astro Journey Dan. With, I have to say, a top tier t-shirt right there, Jurassic World on it. Nice rig. I like to see that done. Zenith Star 73 Mark II, 533 MC Pro EAF, lovely. All on a HEQ5. That's a real workhorse mount. Is that? Thank you for sharing that, Dan. David Willis has been building a concrete pier using his NEQ6 Pro extension. I like to see this. Some bent up threaded rod. Okay, so that's going to, I guess, get cast into the concrete once that is poured, I assume. Superb. Love some DIY projects. Top stuff there, David. Cloudy in the northeast, says Jamsey. So at least you can catch a live stream. Nice one, mate. Yeah, I've tried to go live a little bit earlier as well. I know it's not that early, but still. It's a bit earlier than I usually do. Just sometime around midnight for me. But yeah, Matt Draxler, how's it going, Matt? Nice to see you, mate. Hope you and the family are well. Indeed, thank you, Matt. Hope the same for you and yours, buddy. Ram, good to see you. Doug, QHY Minicam, cracking camera, mate. To be honest, yeah, really nice camera. I posted an image just the other day that I'd been working on during the last few live streams. With that thing, pop that in the Discord. It's the Wizard Nebula taken through the SQA 106. That really lovely shot, I think. Best wizard I've ever taken, anyway. That's for sure. Bedded to the bottom of the holes I drilled. Okay, nice stuff. Astronomy with Claire asked, "Does anyone have experience using Jackery power boxes for Astro?" Yes, I do. I've got a Jackery Explorer 500, and it powers my rig comfortably. For many nights, at least the rig that I carry outside anyway, which consumes about 25 to 30 watts most nights. So yeah, I'll add that there, Claire, as I know you're in chat, so no need for me to type it, but yeah, thumbs up for you. Let's see, Explorer 500, someone else using one there, super. Yeah, anyway, right, let's catch up with the Astro Processing Challenge. Been a while since I posted this one, so it's nice to see that some people have had a go at this thing. Astronomy with Claire says, been looking for a house to buy. Check the view of Polaris. And east for trees and light pollution. Confuses the estate agents. Yeah, if you whip out a compass while the estate agent's watching you in garden, that's going to throw things off. Not gonna lie. Pseudo checker, afternoon, mate. Good to see you. Starlight Astro Studio, evening to you too, sir, or lady. I don't know. I shouldn't assume. Alexander, hello again, Alexander. A couple of months ago, I asked you if it's worth the money to get PixInsight, and you were right. Oh, brilliant! I got the plugins, and it's really a game changer. Thanks to your PixInsight tutorials. Oh, that's fantastic to hear that, Alexander. Really, I do love to hear that the tutorials that I put out are helping people. That's fantastic. Farmer True, hello there, mate. Pete Siddharth, oh, you've done that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, mate. Hope the same for you. Getting some clear lights. Not too many, to be honest, buddy. It's been a little bit, I don't know, weather's gone a little bit wonky. It's been really hot during the day, but just cloudy every night for a while now. Yeah, what can I say about that one, to be honest? It's not been awesome. 1,000 layers of clouds in my location. We have been having some little breaks. I will say that. Sometimes if I'm up early on the morning, I look across to the east. I've been gazing wistfully at Venus rising. That's been lovely to see. Finally a planet again, you know what I mean, in the sky. Kenneth is asking, would you care to comment about the size and angle of obstacles you have from your obsi? I mean, trees and other things. Okay. Is it like 20 degrees or more? It's absolutely more than 20 degrees, Kenneth, yeah. I'm trying to think now. My worst obstruction, at least from the perspective of my northern peer, comes from my southeast, which is a set of conifer trees that have been allowed to grow quite tall. We planted them when I was a little kid, to be honest. We've been in this house like my whole life. I'm still living here, but they've got out of hand, basically, of the trees. Been saying for years I want to cut them, but then we see nesting birds and stuff, and I feel a bit bad. So, yeah, that's what stopped me, basically. I've got saws and rigging and all sorts to do it, but just haven't done it. But I'd say in terms of degrees of obstruction, Kenneth, at a guess, I would say at its worst in that particular location, 40 degrees, 35, 40 degrees of sky probably is obstructed vertically, and then about 30 or so horizontally speaking. So it's a good chunk, mate, to be fair. Yeah. Let's just see. Sir, got yes. Lorenzo, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you here. Thank you for coming and spending some time. Nick Guy, good evening from Germany. Glad you're online tonight. Well, I'm glad you're here, mate. That's lovely to hear. Just dropped my new rig into Astro Gear, so clouds in Texas. I thought, we'll have to take a look at that then, Mike, before I get started. Yeah, Astro Gear, let's see it, Mike. Ooh, nice. I don't know what I like more, though. I'm going to be real with you, Mike. The weather, as it's been, that slide and pool looks really inviting right now. So as much as I love the rig, the pool is a pretty good vibe, Mike. Yeah, not going to lie. Yeah, that's a lovely looking rig. Really, really nice bit of kit. Nice big power bank as well there, actually, Mike, as well. And this is the QHY with the OAG. That is a nice looking bit of kit as well on its own. I've seen a few people have got those into review. I should probably really contact QHY and ask if I can get one to review, at least on loan for a little bit, and try that out. That would be fun. It seems like they're a good bit of kit, though, so yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Mike. Cracking stuff, and I have to say, what a lovely garden as well. Got to comment on the garden. It's just too darn nice. Tomorrow might be clear in the UK. For you, Sean, it looks iffy for me, to be fair, mate, but I really hope it's clear for you. Banazir, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. Hey, welcome aboard, by the way, SMA Sky, for 15 months of support. That's absolutely awesome, dude. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. And hello to you directly, of course, as well. Living in the UK, it's like living in Jupiter. It's been weird, mate. Yeah, I have to say. Yeah, it has been weird. Just swirling clouds. Yeah, pretty much Jupiter. We had a tornado the other day. Would you believe it? Not directly here, but near here. Summer here, so you get clouds and rain quite often. It's supposed to have been raining now. The sun is shining bright, missing out some time in the sun. Oh, fair, mate. Go get that time in the sun. I'll be here when you get back. I'm sure of it. Hi from Spain, says Banners here as well. Hello to you too, sir. Nice of you to come and spend some time with us. Lorenzo, you followed my advice. Okay, that's good to hear. I hope it worked out well, whatever advice I gave. You mentioning the... no, Alexander mentioned the Pixie Sight thing. Fair enough. Let's see. Any minicam users going to be getting the new argon filter? Asks Seberti. I know that Nico got one recently, didn't he? That's an interesting looking filter. Don't know how many targets are particularly emissive in argon though, so yeah, perhaps worth looking into that just to see how broad the usage cases are, whether that balances out the cost. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting thing, and it's lovely to see that they're adding these filters too. I think that is interesting. In the post should arrive next week, says Mike. Oh, that's good to hear. Some streamer go in search of an 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain. Oh, brilliant. I remember now, Lorenzo. Yeah, I think you were asking about scopes, and we went through it a little bit, didn't you? And I could have sworn we talked about Schmidt Cassegrains being quite versatile, if memory's serving. But yeah, good stuff. I'm blaming that one. I'm blaming for that one. That's fair. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll kick things off a little bit. So here's what I processed. Looks like a few people have directly replied to this as well, interestingly. So there's a few to go through in there. Shall allow me to get myself comfortable. It's warming up in here. So I'm just going to crack my door as well. Tolerable. All right. Oh. Let's do this. It begins. No epidemic sound background music, by the way, unfortunately, this stream. Another little update for you. I got, for some reason, incorrectly copyright claimed from them during the last stream, so that sucked a bit. They did lift it, but it made me a little bit gun-shy of using it again, so I shall be finding an alternative. I think I've cancelled my subscription to them, as what's the point in subscribing for apparently music that you know that you're going to be protected from copyright from if you then get copyright struck. Obviously my channel's my livelihood, I can't be risking that kind of thing. So yeah, that sucks, but it is what it is. Galactic Corey, how's it going, Corey? Nice to see you, buddy. Currently testing out a portable setup with the retired engineer's Astro portable power. Trying out Green Swamp Swerver. Slow and painful. Well, that is the way, but at least oftentimes I guess if you went the alternative route, fast and it all was just too easy, you'd become concerned as well. This was too easy, something's going to go wrong. So anyway, I digress. This was my my edit from the data. So key things that I like about my own shot and things that I don't like, for example, I'm going to go into. I feel like the overall image flattening was good. It doesn't look to be packed with gradients or anything, and the darkest areas of the shot are dark but not clipped. You know, you can see it evidenced by this little bit of nebulosity around here, particularly around that star is still there. And there's just a little bit of this rift creeping through. Looks almost like it's nearly poking its head through. Does the oxygen 3 in the background right there. But there's no immediately obvious brightening to the corners or any of the edges. Colours in the stars look good. Tiny bit of purple fringing, which I could have done a better job with, I think. So that's something I could work on for next time. And I like the fact I've left some of these greens and blues to naturally meld. So that's all right. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this edit overall. I think things that I might change is I could perhaps have gone a little bit more aggressive with BlurXTerminator, to be fair. It looks like it could have potentially taken it. But yeah, overall pretty happy. So now let's jump on and see what other interpretations people had of this data, because it is all just down to artistic interpretation, I think, past a certain point. That should be interesting to see. Is this a clean SHO palette, or did you mix some channels with different weights? Clean, basically, mate. Yeah, it's. I posted my result as part of a. I hazard at calling it a tutorial, but I did talk through what I was doing. So yeah, basically during the challenge video, anyway, I made a tutorial for this data, offered the data set as well to allow people to download it and work in parallel, in tandem with me. And I worked through it live, and you know, there's no like trickery applied, if you like. It's just that's kind of how it looks. I did get a new image as well. Let me try to just get it up for you. Just so same camera. I just want to touch upon that before we get started too. I stacked up some more of the M16 data as well, by the way. So this is more of a final effort on the M16 data. So this was Edge HD. Let me just pull that one up for you. So 140 2-minute shots. Looking back now, I think I left just a touch too much green in. So some areas are looking a bit lime almost, but it's still quite nice. And the crop is nice. It holds up, you know, pretty well. And there are some nice, I've said nice like 15 times. There's some good regions where it mixes through those like yellows, greens, teals into blue, and then almost a touch of purple. But these filters that came with the QHY minicam, I think are pretty good, man. They balance out fairly well. Now, the other thing that I did was the wizard. I'll just quickly share that as well. So this was the same thing, QHY minicam 8 on the ASCAR 106, and yeah, very happy. Overall, I have to say, very happy. I let a lot of this stay greener than I usually would, just because I like the rainbow effect that it's going from, you know, like reds, yellows, into that kind of limey colour, and then greens, teals, and blues once again. But yeah, lovely colourful shot. Here's a crop. All done with that QHY minicam, I have to say. Very, very happy with that. Very happy with the scope as well, of course. It's only half of the equation, in it. But yeah, hopefully that answers that. It's as clean as hobble. Oh, thank you, mate. Too kind. Daniel, good evening. Evening to you too, Daniel. Nice to come and spend some time, buddy. So, Fatu, if I'm remembering right, Fatu's only just started in astrophotography, and he's been picking it up like a sponge, really. He's been learning very, very quickly. So, feedback on this one for you. So, when viewed in its whole context, as offered, I like the richness of this blue in particular. So he's taken the decision to get rid of all of the green completely from it, which leaves it looks very contrasty. It leaves it almost looking a little bicolour though, if that makes sense. I know that there is technically 3 colours. There's like this coppery orange, not quite a red, it's like an orange into a yellow into a blue. But you often see that kind of effect with bicolour one-shot colour data. Like the green, my tastes have changed over time, and I like to leave a bit more green in now. So that's one thing that varies between us, but again, this is just a choice. I would say he's applied a little too much processing to particularly these like faces of the wall, if you like. It looks almost textured. It's the best word I can think of. Kind of odd in how it looks, and you can see particularly the same effect, that texturing has been applied to some of the regions of dust up here. So you can see swirls of it. They look kind of artificially darkened. So that's some feedback on that. It looks just a bit, for my tastes, a little bit overdone. Overall, though, he's handled noise very well in the data. I don't mind the star size. They don't look overly processed, don't the stars? So they look very natural, in contrast with this kind of unnatural appearance of some of the wall. But yeah, overall, it's a very pretty image, and he's done a great job of flattening it out too. So that's good to see. And he hasn't clipped any of his black point. So again, that's another great point. We should focus on the positives, obviously, of course, as well. So yeah, overall, great work. There's just things that I personally wouldn't have gone with on it, but that's what it's all about. Thank you very much for sharing that. Simon, good to see you, Simon. I've just seen your name there, Simon, and I've just realised every time you tell me I should let people know I'm going to go live, and I've not done it again. I'm sorry, mate. Bloody hell, I appreciate you coming and spending some time though, bud. I really, really do. Gil Paulbert is asking, I'm assuming that's Paul Gilbert, but speaking of SQA 106, it got a new competitor, the William Optics UltraCat 108. Looks so nice, but a bit pricey. Yeah, the UltraCat 108 does look very nice. I will say, looking at the spots of the two scopes, I prefer the SQA 106 as it maintains smaller spots across the whole field. The William Optics UltraCat gets bigger spot diagram sizes, really quite noticeable as you get towards the edges of full frame, but it's still incredibly good. Got to take that, what I'm saying, with a pinch of salt, really, because we're talking about minute differences. But yeah, slapped wrists, that's it. Damn it. I really should have a word with myself. Supra. Let's have a look. Pre-Luke's tutorial. So he's having to go a bit ahead of time. Probably going to follow along and try it again. Not too sure about all the green in my pick. Okay. Let's take a look then, mate. So, yeah. I actually don't mind it that much, but it is taking over a little bit. It's still got some nice areas of blue coming through, you know, where it's not actually mixed. It is blue. But the areas where it's mixing, it's maybe mixing a bit too much. So it's came through just a tad bit strong. I think the stars are slightly over sharpened, so they have a ringed appearance to them. Don't know if that's going to come through for you on live stream. It's hard to say, but I can see tiny little dark donut rings around every single star, at least on the uncompressed version of the stream that I'm viewing on my screen. In terms of sharpening that's been applied, it looks a little underdone along the Cygnus wall, I would say, but the upshot of that is the dusty stuff does look very dusty. So swings and roundabouts, really hard to judge. But this is his first effort, if you like, before watching my video. So cracking work overall. It's a very pretty image, and he's done a great job of flattening it out. There's, to my eye, a tiny glow along the bottom edge that's remained, but it ain't that much. And the black point is pretty well set, marginally high. If you want, you know, like full feedback on that one. One of your favourite guitarists. I got you. Clear ambient skies. Howdy. How's it going there, mate? Nice to see you. Hope you're having a beautiful Texan day. Nice to come spend some time with us, basically. I do appreciate everybody coming and spending your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever it is, with me. It's very nice of you. Astro Balcony, cheers from Milano. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. So Kieran Williams, first attempt while following along. Thanks for the data and tutorial. No problem, Kieran. Thank you for having a go. And that goes to everybody, by the way. I don't know if any of you are here actually watching, people who submitted to this challenge, submitted work. But yeah, thank you for making it work. It's just a brilliant learning opportunity for anybody involved, and people just watching. I will learn from this as well myself, just by seeing all these different renditions. I think it helps hone your eye, really, into like what you're looking for while you're processing data. A lot of the times, at least for me, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but back in my early efforts at processing, before I really knew, well, I still don't know what I'm doing, but before, even worse, before I really didn't know what I was doing, unless you get problems pointed out to you, sometimes you remain blind to them. So I think it's a prime learning opportunity, basically, when people use the same data. So Kieran has made a really nice effort at this. I have to say, when taken in this context, you can see it's already a little bit soft and dreamy looking. It's like a memory of an astro image. And zoomed up close, it really is a bit soft. I have to say, it looks a little bit too soft. I know that the native data is much sharper than has been portrayed here. Overall, I like his use of colour. I have to say, his black point is set accurately, and he's removed basically all gradients from the image too, so there's a lot that he's done right. I like the star colour, by the way, as well. Star color itself is great, and the color is achieved across the wall and in the background is great too, but overall it's just ended up a bit soft, and I think that's my main feedback on this. If it was just sharpened up a little bit from where it is now, I think this would have been a cracking shot. It still is a nice shot, but yeah, I'm sure there is more that can be achieved from that one, but that's what it's all about, learning. What challenge is this? Can I still enter? If you're getting quick, mate, yeah, potentially, Nexy. It was the Cygnus Wall Processing Challenge. If you just go back a few videos on my channel, more than a few videos probably, I've been putting this off for ages, mate, but yeah, the Cygnus Wall Challenge, basically. This is the one. Javier, Horatio Javier Marin Santa Ibanez? I'm totally getting that wrong, but I'm trying. I hope you appreciate that I'm trying. I have a question. How do you work with your luminance? Any examples? Excellent channel. Greetings from Chile. Well, after such a lovely comment, I feel terrible for butchering your name, Horatio. But, wow, I tried to treat my luminance, how can I put it? With respect, and don't try to do too much with it. I'd rather let the data play it as it lies and let it speak for itself almost. Accentuate what's there for sure, but don't try to bring too much out. I think when your luminance gets way out of whack with the balance of your RGB, your image can start to look artificial, I think. If that's the type of feedback you're looking for, then I hope that helped. Justin, Discord notification at the man might be live. Yes, mate. We've actually just taken a look at your first submission to it right there. We took a look at that. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to have a go. Appreciate that. Dean is up next. Did not know that I'm supposed to post it here, so here's my attempt on your data of NGC 7000. Okay, Dean. Let's take a good look around. So, when viewed like this, nothing's looking overdone except for it's predominantly green, I have to say. So this is bicolor again, practically, but in the opposite way. There's almost no reds coming through. There's just greens and blues. That's what's like taking over the image. Now, I will say that the regions that are blue, very tasteful and unforced, if you will. He's set the black point accurately. I would say it looks very well done, and he's removed all gradients successfully from the image. So there's a lot to like there. Star colors are great. I like those. Absolutely, I do. There's nothing wrong at all with them. The size as well has been well handled, and the overall detail that is achieved is good. Perhaps there's a fragment more detail in there without it looking too forced. I don't know. We will see what the other submissions look like, but overall there's a lot to like. My main feedback on this would be the coloration, of course, is the thing that's holding the image back. So particularly along the wall, I would have loved to have seen a lot more coppers, reds, yellows, etc. coming through, and perhaps just peel back overall on that green a bit and let some more of the pure blues shine through. But it's a good effort overall, and I thank you for taking the time to submit that one. Dean, if you see this. Josh, how's it going, Josh? I am indeed well, mate. Hope the same for you, of course. Yeah, we'll have to catch up at some point, dude. So this is Supra, his second submission. So importantly, before he mentioned he'd done his first one without watching the tutorial, then he'd watched the tutorial. Okay, he's imported into Rebel 7, merged to a canvas and exported as nanopixel. Interesting. So this has been passed through some very different software to what I'm used to using. So, when viewed, zoomed out in this context, spot on coloration, I have to say. I think it looks just tremendous what he's done with the colors. I really like his work there. There's a lot to like. The black point is set pretty darn well, maybe fractionally dark. Some of these areas look just clipped to me, particularly around these knots of nebulosity right here. However, the software that he's passed it through, I'm assuming, the nanopixel, etc., it's gone too far for my tastes. It looks like there's fake detail. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's accentuating what's there, I realise, but it appears to be hallucinatory in some cases. Does the amount of detail that's appeared? It's not really a what would be the way of saying it? It's not really an honest representation of the underlying data at this point. You know what I mean? It's taken a little too far for my tastes. That's just for my taste. Some people out there are going to love this, but yeah, for me, just a little too far. That's all. Very nice shot though, and like I say, when viewed like this, there's a lot to like. I think his work with coloration, fantastic. Overcooked. I was defaulting to pretty aggressive sharpen on BlurX for a good while. Now going to pretty much no sharpening on my picks. Good stuff, mate. That's so you've self-identified kind of like the same thing we were talking about. So yeah, that's fantastic to hear. And as always, Fatu, I know you're just getting started in your journey, so I appreciate the fact that you take feedback in the spirit that it's offered, and don't get off put. That'd be the last thing that I want to do, because you're doing so well. Fabian, greetings from Germany. How's it going, Fabian? Nice to see you to come and spend some time with us, mate. And Pim as well. I've just seen you've popped up there as well, Pim. Awesome. Good to have you all here. Francis. Hello, Luke. Finally caught up with the chill session. We're here, Francis. We're chilling, mate. It's good. Always a pleasure. And this is the last of the direct replies, and we can get onto the actual individual submissions. So this is from Hardy. My attempt at the NGC 7000 data, mostly following Luke's processing. Okay, just started with astrophotography as a whole, and my videos have been helpful. That's really, really good to hear. Thank you for the kind words there, Hardy, if you do see this. So when viewed in its as offered context, without zooming out, coloration overall looks quite nice. I think he's left in just a few hints of that kind of green, and I don't mind that. Some of the areas around here could mix a little more, but I don't know. It's a bit of a decision at this point, and I don't mind it at all where it's been left in this data. That's fine. I particularly like that he's let the oxygen 3 spill over and really allowed it to come out down in this region, in particular down here, over the wall. It gives an impression of depth, that this is coming from the, behind and over, if you like, which adds another dimension to the image. His black point is set right on the cusp. I think it's pretty darn accurately done, is that. So well done there. One main bit of feedback I can give now I've zoomed in, he's handled noise very well. The amount of detail in the shot is good. I think there might be a tiny bit left in there to recover, potentially. Hard to say. But a lot of the stars are green, interestingly. So star shapes and sizes are great, but colour, that could stand a little bit of work. So I don't know if that's going to come through. Again, it's always a guessing game if it's going to come through or not. For you guys on the live stream, but if you can see what I'm talking about, you'll know a lot of the stars look green, effectively tinged green, which is of course not a colour that a star should be, but overall good work. It's a nice bright airy image, and I like it, so well done indeed on that one. Photon Voyager, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you. Let's get cracking then. So Dean, we took a look at Dean's submission, I do believe. Frank, this was 30 days ago, so let's take a look. So here we've got some direct issues with gradient removal in this one. So the image has taken on an overly flattened appearance where it's no longer allowed to be dynamic, because the brighter parts of the areas almost match in terms of luminosity some of the less bright areas, more like faint areas, if you like. That's very unscientific, isn't it? Some of the areas of lower brightness, such as this part of the wall over here, and these darker regions of dust as well, they've been lifted to the point that the image looks a little bit flat. Colours, I can see where he's been going for. It's gone a little bit too far for my liking, but mainly the issue here is gradient removal. So we've got a inversion on this corner where it's gone too bright. You can see that down there. Top right is perhaps having the same kind of effect. It's hard to see in this left-hand side, really. But you will note that some areas in other images where people have successfully got out of the gradients have ended up pretty much clipped to black on this. So this region right here, these regions of dust here, for example, and this over on the right-hand side as well, that's clipped to black by the looks of things. So, you know, something's gone wrong along the way. But I can absolutely see what they've been going for. And the things that I do like is they've handled the noise well. They've pulled out a good bit of detail from it. Something looks to have been overly suppressive on the stars as well, I will say that. So hopefully this will come through. Again, I'm using this region right here because it's got a good dynamic range, if you like, from darker regions to brighter, or it would have normally. And you can see that a lot of the stars have almost vanished, which is you know, quite odd to see. We know that there should be a lot more of those visible. Whether that's been a decision made during processing, I can't say, but it's not something I would have personally gone for. But you know, we're all individuals, and I thank you, Frank, for having a go at that one. Appreciate it. So this is Milkman. Okay. Followed along for the most part, did a couple of my own tweaks to it. Great data to work with. Thank you, Milkman. All right, let's take a look. So in the broader context, let's just take a look at it zoomed out for a moment. I really like what it's done with the coloration. Absolutely works for me, does this. The areas of green that are coming through, like we'd seen in some of the earlier images. Just mixing in here, it adds something to an otherwise not very interesting region, by contrast. And gives it really a reason to be there and becomes part of the framing, which, like, artistically speaking, I like. It doesn't feel like it should just, you know, the image would benefit from being cropped effectively. It's there and it adds to the image. Let's zoom in a touch. I don't think it's clipped this. I almost thought it had for a moment there, but it looks like it's on the cusp, but it's not clipped. So that's good to see. It's set nice and dark. A little bit of that reflection nebula or whatever it is that's crept in through there. Well, I'm assuming a little bit of emission, perhaps. Is just faintly visible around that star. I think he's pulled out just about all the available detail, so that's great work there on however you've sharpened, however you've worked through your sharpening. It's great to see. Star shapes, sizes, and colours are good too. So, yeah. There's a lot to like on Milkman's image right there, I have to say, and it is free of gradients. And in contrast to what we were talking about before, it's preserved the dynamic range of the image, if you like. So the brighter regions, they're fully legible. None of it's burned out, but they do clearly look bright compared to the darker regions and the less populated regions too. So, and again, like the stars we were talking about, they're all there. And you can see the different ranges of brightness in them rather than them almost becoming like riding the line of the vanishing point practically. Oh, you're here, Milkman. I didn't realise. Good to see you, mate. I always appreciate having you in chat. Hope all is well with you, my friend. Glad to spend some time with you on stream. Super. No, you haven't missed much at all, mate. Yeah, thank you as always for coming and having some time with us. Fabian says, I'm fine, thank you. Good to hear that, Fabian. Unfortunately, it's not clear enough to bring out the equipment. Glad about the live stream. Super. I'm really happy to hear that, mate. Astronomical Twilight has finally returned to Scotland. Yes! I'll celebrate with you, Daniel. That's good. DP John, nice of you to come and spend some time with us in another stream, mate. It's been a while since I've seen you in one, I think. I'm going well. Hopefully the same for you. Going to be working on your 5th night on the Cat's Eye Nebula once it gets here. Yeah, just in time, actually. We were just talking about your image there, Milkman. I think you must have joined just while I started talking about it, actually. Yeah, I really like this colour palette. Me too. Yeah, absolutely. Photon Voyager. I'll be true with you, and I'll tell you honestly, my favourite images are probably just taken in broadband. But that's not to say I don't have a major soft spot for, you know, like a tasteful application, at least in my you know, approximation, a tasteful application of the Hubble palette. I love to see it. Bottle 10, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you. And Nexi, how long do I have left to process this? Well, at the rate that I'm delivering feedback, about 5 business days, I would say. So, nah, don't rush, mate. Just get it in whenever you can. And if I'm done by the end of this, just post it in the thingy, the Astro Images part, and I'll reach it there. If I don't do it this stream, it'll be next stream. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's jump in now to the next one from Oamaru Astro. Oamaru Astro? Oamaru Astro? I really struggle with names sometimes. I'm sorry about that. However, let's deliver the feedback. I was really interested in seeing how Luke processed this data. I decided to see how my usual approach would compare. Okay, and he's detailed his usual approach there. I like Luke's approach better, so I guess I have some adjustments to make my own process. Well, that's really good to hear, mate. I'm glad you found something you liked about my workflow, and can hopefully, you know, take whatever you want from it and apply it to your own. That's what it's all about. So, sorry, I'll look at it in this kind of context first off. So, one thing I am noticing, the colours are really, really dreamy and nice, actually. I like them in this image. They're not like compartmentalized almost by being a little bit heavily processed. They're almost allowed to flow one into the other, but without actually doing so. I hope that makes sense. It's a really wishy-washy way of describing what I'm talking about, but I can't think of a better way to put it. It looks dreamy, but in a good way. The one thing I am noticing though, there's a blue cast over the whole image, like a light blue tint. So that's one thing that perhaps could be worked on. Like the black point is more of a blue point, if you like, but it is set overall fairly accurate in terms of the brightness that is decided on for the shot. Nothing's clipped, so that's good to see. A little bit of remnant gradient down in the bottom right. I don't know if you can see that on the stream, but there is a brightening down there, which isn't apparent in some of the efforts on this data. And what we'd seen in some of the other shots too, where the stars have ended up a little bit dim overall, has happened to this. So we've ended up losing some stars, unfortunately. Maybe that was a conscious choice during processing. I don't know. If it was, and you intended on that, that's absolutely fine. It's not what I'd personally go for, but what does that matter? You know, it's just your effort at processing the image. So I'm just giving feedback where I can. In terms of detail that you've pulled out, I think you've done well. You're pretty much riding the edge of it. It's a lot along, particularly along the wall itself right here in these features. Yeah, I think any more and it might start to look a little bit pushed, but it's not yet. It's still looking natural, which is good to see. So yeah, I think there's a lot to like about the image. The things I would work on, as I've said, is getting rid of this blue cast, allowing the black point to be a black point rather than the overall predominant blue. I like the coloration for what it is, the dreamy look rather than the slapped in the face by color look. So that's really good to see. The other thing, like I say, I would really work on would be getting more stars to shine through and allowing them to just be where they are and be what they are. So, you know, the brightest stars are the biggest, and going all the way down to the stuff that's practically just invisible. That would be my main feedback on you on that one. So next up, we're on to Mikael Johannesson. I'll just catch up on chat as well. Morpheus Sleeps. Hello, Luke. Hello there, mate. Back from northern Norway. Wow. No dark skies over there, I can imagine. Yeah. Are we past the point where the sun doesn't set now? Or just past that point, I suppose, in Norway? I don't know. I'm in and out, but I'm here. Good to hear that, Chris, mate. Hope you're doing well. Absolutely, I do. Old Geezer Gaming. Gaming. Old Geezer Gazing. Hi, Luke from the UAE. How's it going, mate? Nice to come and spend some time with us. I appreciate it. Here's a link to the tutorial data. I'm sorry, Mike. I expect that that's probably automatically been truncated during your message. I don't have it that links can be posted in chat. Oops. By anybody other than me, unfortunately. And the reason is to just try to protect people. Sometimes it's rare, but sometimes you do get spammers like on the channel. Like I'll immediately upload a video and then you'll see 20 comments appear. All of them spam with links to stuff. So I had to unfortunately throw the baby out with the bathwater and block links. Sorry about that. But yeah. Michael V. How's it going, Michael? Nice of you to come spend some time with us. Again, like I say it to everybody, I mean it. Appreciate you coming and spending some of your evening with me. I really, really do. Or day, or morning, or whatever it is. Just got you. Okay, Morpheus. Francis, I'm going to Ball 2 Skies this weekend. That should be pretty notable. But yeah, Mikhail, we were going to do. Only been learning PixInsight for a month. I've been grateful for your tutorials. You're more than welcome, buddy. My entry for the NGC 7000 challenge. He's going through his workflow a little bit. Excuse me for yawning. Okay, so with symmetry point adjustment. So he's been using GHS a lot. That's good to hear. Kept a little green in. Good choice, as always, I would say. Yeah, alright. Second upload of the reddish color cast. Alright, so let's check out this one as it's offered. So, overall, like the shot, I think there's been an error somewhere along the way with the gradient removal, though. That's neutralized some of the O3 signal up in the top left corner. So that could either be masking or the gradient has maybe gone rid of it somehow. But it's gone. That really should be sweeping all the way up there. And down here, there's been a bit of an overcorrection as well. We've seen that in a few. It's tripped a couple of people up. Easy to miss, I imagine, if you're not looking for it, kind of like I talked about before. But yeah, a brightening down in this corner that shouldn't be there. And it's probably as a result of this slight stacking artifacting that's been left in. It looks to be. Anyway, it's quite noisy along the edge. So maybe Mikhail's been a little bit too generous in his crop and hasn't been aggressive enough with it. Now I'm looking up close. Anyway, star color has suffered a little bit. Some of the stars are looking a bit green. We've seen that on one of the submissions as well. Shape and size is okay. None of them have kind of vanished or anything like that, so that's good to see. It could stand some effort with noise reduction in the image. It has kind of a grainy appearance right there, which, while not being, you know, overly objectionable or something, we know that there are ways to get rid of that. Even with like free tools, Graxpert can do that now. There's a denoise function for that. Or better yet, at least in my experience, using the fantastic RC Astro tools. Love them. A little bit of a green tinge, actually, I'm noticing up close of much of this now, where it shouldn't really exist. But it's faint, but it is there. His black point's set quite well. It's not quite clipped. Yeah, so there's stuff to like. I can see that he's worked hard on this image. And I'm sure, just like any of us now, if you process the data again today, it would come up with an even better result. So yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Mikhail. And there's a lot to learn from these images, which is really what it's all about. Super. Let's jump on to the next one. Graxpert tends to overcorrect the edges like that when there's a stacking artifact. Yes, Fruity. So yeah, probably like we were talking about, if it had been just fractionally more aggressive on the initial crop, or if I wasn't using AstroPixel processor to do my stacking, PixInsight's auto crop output would have been perfect. But you know, that's one less learning opportunity as well. If you're working on data that's already partially done for you, even in any small sense like that. Mike J. Okay, let's have a look at this then, Mike. My version using PixInsight, Photoshop, and SETI Astro's perfect palette picker. What a name. All feedback is most welcome. Super. Right then. So, Mike, if you see this, my feedback to you is it's ended up washed out and almost forced towards a bicolor appearance in the color that does remain in the image. So all green is gone. All red is gone too, to be honest with you. All that remains is kind of an unsaturated orange and an unsaturated blue. In terms of detail that's left, I don't think it's done a bad job at all. The stars look a little bit sharp-edged, but not objectionable. And the colour that's left in them is nice, so the star colour's fine. So that's really a pass on that side of things. Appears to be a little bit of gradient creeping in from this top edge. So you can see it's brighter along the top edge than is what remains down here, for example. Black point, other than that, is set fairly accurately. But we do have, kind of like I touched upon on one of the earlier images, a flattening of the overall image. It's not as bad on this image as the one that we talked about it initially, but there has been a kind of a flattening of the appearance to where it's hard to differentiate which parts of this image were actually the brightest anymore. You could almost be fooled into saying, that's the brightest bit right there. We know it shouldn't be. It should be like the face of this wall and this part right here. But it's lost that somewhere along the way in processing. So yeah, there's obviously some gradient issues. A lot of colours crept into this bottom right side down here that's ended up orange, the same colour as this signal here, unfortunately, whereas this should be dark grey, almost black, like this, practically, with a little hint of O3 coming through, which is let come through. That's good to see. But yeah, I think on that one, I really do appreciate you taking the time to share it, Mike. Absolutely. And I think well worth another go if you fancied it. Working on the same day, it can actually be boring, but really fruitful in allowing you to iteratively work through a process and having that almost scientific method where you're starting from the same starting point can be, like I say, very, very helpful in inching towards a better processing routine. Let's just see. Chris is a moderator. He's posted it. Fantastic. Thank you, Chris. Gideon. Oh, did I miss you, Gideon? I'm sorry about that, buddy. Obviously I wouldn't mean to. Oh, Mr. Newbold, good evening. Got you. Hey, how's it going, Gideon, mate? It's good of you to come and spend some time. Of course, I'm sorry for leaving you hanging right there. Photon Voyager asks, by the way, what's your opinion on adding star spikes with a 3D printed mask on refractors? I've had a discussion with someone on Facebook who said they're disingenuous. I don't know, I can see kind of both sides of the argument, because, you're adding them to an optical design that otherwise wouldn't have them, so, you're putting something in there that doesn't need to be there. They're by a matter of necessity on a Newtonian, because how else are you going to hold up the secondary mirror, really, other than something like curved vanes, which can get rid of them. But yeah, I have no strong feeling. I'd say if you find images with diffraction spikes more appealing, or even certain targets with diffraction spikes more appealing, which I totally get for some clusters in particular, add some luster to your cluster. It can look very, very, very nice. That said, I can't really comment as to whether I think it's disingenuous at that point. I think you're doing it deliberately, and you know why you're doing it, so it's just a choice, really, at that point. So I wouldn't dissuade you from it. Certainly not. If you want to go for it, go for it. I haven't done Mike J's submission, so let's just take a look at this one. Cygnus Wall in NA 4X palette. Okay. So this has ended up flattened again. So to a less to a less degree than the other one, but you know, there's very little difference in terms of overall brightness between this region and this region. It looks quite flattened. There's a lot of remnant gradient left in, so the black point is actually like a desaturated green almost, and it's also the same down here. There's gradients in the bottom right. There's gradient across the whole right as well, creeping in. Left hand side, not too bad. Yeah, the overall colour is lost, I think, on this mic. For me, it doesn't quite hit. And yeah, I would say overall, it's not been a massive success, that one. I would have another go if that was me. I hope you don't feel like that's brutal feedback, anybody, because I know we're all at different points in our processing journey. It's just, you know, people are submitting these images here with the understanding I'm going to give feedback. That's what it's all about. It's not about just like, you know, patting each other's back. It's we need to learn from these images. That's what we're here for. Otherwise, we're just wasting us time. So yeah, I hope the feedback is taken in the spirit that it's offered. And yeah, definitely just worth another crack, I'd say. Currently trying to make something a Cygnus wall data shot with the Apo 120. Nice. Well, I hope that should turn out fantastic for you, Gideon, to be honest. Let's just see. Took me a few minutes, wasn't sure your link survived. Yeah, no, it should be fine. I've got it set basically moderators can add links, and so can basically I as the channel owner, and that's about it, unfortunately. I am very sorry. I know people would probably like to share links on here and stuff, but the Discord, you should be able to freely send links. We haven't had any issues so far with spam and stuff. Wondering now, we are getting a couple of flies in here, so I'm going to close my door. We will have to utilize the aircon. Otherwise they're going to be doing my nutting, basically. Iron Man Astro, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. And now Spaceman as well has joined in. Spaceman 22. Evening, Luke. Evening, Spaceman. It's a pleasure. Oh, I was being polite. This chap was having a real go at someone who did it. I did too, but that's a bit unfair, isn't it? You know what I mean? Having a go at someone for just like doing something that makes them happy. They've made the conscious decision to put that mask on the scope and try doing something. So, you know, they're obviously doing it because they want that effect. It's their scope, their choice, I'd say. Yeah. Like I say, on the other hand, I can see the other side of the argument. You are adding something that doesn't otherwise exist from that type of instrument. So, you know, that's the other flip side of it. Dio, how's it going, mate? Just received my binaural mask today. Very nice quality, thank you. Glad to hear it, mate. Yeah, it's super. I'm doing my best to make sure every one of them that's sent out is perfect. Otherwise, it just goes in the bin and I print another one. Basically. When you get to mine, be brutally honest. No problem, dude. Yeah, I try to just be real with people. You know what I mean? You're here. We're going through this together. We all want to learn. I assume at least that's why we're doing this kind of thing. That's the whole point of the processing challenge. So I wouldn't be doing you or me or anybody any favors really by just being overly fake positive or something like that. So yeah, hopefully that comes across. Oh. We're not on anything hard tonight, by the way. It's juice. Currently in a home remodel, says Gideon. Okay, become a bit of a huge thing. I haven't really touched the thing in a few weeks. Oh, fair enough, mate. You've got all the time in the world. Pellet fund, Chris. Oh, mate. Yeah, I tell you what. On the note, I don't know if anybody else here is aware or into air rifles and stuff, but on that note, Chris, thank you very much, by the way. First and foremost, of course, you absolute legend. But I don't think you can even buy lead pellets anymore, which is all you could get when I was growing up. Obviously, lead pellets. I think they're all some sort of amalgamation now, aren't they? Like a tin pellet. Very weird, but yeah. Thank you. Basically, I really appreciate that, dude. I will have to chat more about air rifles with you later on. Do like a bit of target shooting. Homing models always become bigger. That's fair enough. Right then. So Alec Moores, here's my version using PixInsight and my workflow. I'll give some feedback on this, then we'll catch up with chat again. Thank you again, by the way, Chris. I really, I know I'm joking around and stuff, but I really do appreciate your support, buddy. I do. I like these challenges with objects in the Northern Hemisphere, since this nebula is impossible to photograph well from Argentina. That's really cool to hear. Right then, so in the context it is framed in, actually really nice. I like it. There's no shortage of colour in there. Saturation's right in the line, do you know what I mean? It's not overdone, but it is well saturated. I would certainly say that. There are patches of colour coming through in this one, which are not present in some of the other shots. So like these flecks of rusty coloured stuff here, and up here around this little Italy looking leg. But overall, I like what they've done with the coloration. I feel like there's maybe a bit much coming through in this bottom right, but it's hard to say. Overall, very nice, and I think they've mostly successfully gotten rid of all like this bottom gradient. I can maybe see just a fraction of it along there, like a whitening effect. But yeah, it's very nice. Otherwise, star shape, size, and color, absolutely approve. I like. And the amount of detail that is pulled out is again, it's right in the very ragged edge of what's in the data. So that's also nice to see. I don't feel like it's left anything on the table. Do you know what I mean? With the level of processing that's been applied to that. I will say some of the oxygen 3 regions look pushed very slightly towards purple, more than teal and blue, and most of the green is gone apart from just this region here. Again, probably a processing choice, but yeah, overall it looks very nice, and I think the black point is accurate as well. It's certainly not clipped. Overall, there's a lot to like about that shot, so well done, Alec. I think, yeah, well done, basically, on that one. Good stuff. Lead is a no-go these days for the side effects it causes, even in small doses. Yeah, I can imagine. There were nearly a joke in there, but I shan't. Gideon Sanders says we have new roof, new tiling, solar panels, PVT panels, heat pump, new plumbing, new windows, new glass. Jesus Christ! What the hell? Wow, that's quite the remodel. I think it sounds like you've rebuilt your house at that point, mate. Destroyed all my guns when the band came in. Oh man, that sucks. So I know that some older guns would like only shoot well with lead pellets. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, what's it like now these days with modern pellets? I'll be honest with you, it's probably 5 years since I last bought a tin of pellets. I've still got plenty of lead ones, so I just if I need a plink, I'd use some of them. But now Mike's making me phobic of that. Should I wear gloves? I don't know. Have you got any money left for Astro after that lot? Yeah, no kidding, Simon. Jeez. So that was Alec's image, by the way. We've just done that one. Shit, I keep doing this, don't I? I go away and I need to get back. Astronomy with Claire. So they've done their own version of the data. So this isn't the data that was provided. This is just their own from Altair. 70 quad, 26M camera, 3 nanometer SHO filters. Stacked in APP, processed in PixInsight. Okay. So a lot of the colours are really nice, I have to say, but, and I'm sure you would see this, like if you were there looking at my screen right now, I hope it's coming across on the stream as well and you can see what I'm talking about, but there's a brownish green cast across the whole image. Almost look like I'm looking through a net curtain or something, or like a veil. Very odd, but it's there across the whole thing on what otherwise is quite a nice shot. But in the regions, where it's not really taking over, yeah, I like what you've done. Star shape, size, color, good. Detail is not bad at all. And noise is well handled, as well as gradients. So yeah, black point's fractionally high. Do you know what I mean? Could stand to be a touch lower. But really the main thing is this thing needs whacking with the SCNR stick, I would say. Would probably be the main way of tackling it. But yeah, nice job, Claire. I think there's a lot to like about the image. We must, of course, focus on that. Money is gone. I went to have a look on it, went to the house. I should say, Gideon bought a scope from me, so yeah, there is that. Still has that dreamy look. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It does. No, like, clean divisions in terms of the color. It's all just a little bit dreamy, which I like. But could stand with a darker black point and getting rid of that veil of color. It's over the whole thing. I think that'd really add to that shot for me. It's mixing these up. We are working through them though. I can see that now. Okay, NGC 7000 challenge HSO version. Okay, so he's gone for an alternate palette. Very interesting. I approve. Do you know what I mean? I love seeing alternative ways of doing things. This is a very deliberate choice that he's made, and I don't mind it. I think it's a nice way of portraying the data, and importantly, like the whole thing with it, is it really does divide up the gases in this, if you like. You know what I mean? You can really see the oxygen now discreetly from the hydrogen. The sulfur, don't know where that fits in this one. It is a little bit lost in the overall context, but it's interesting to look at. We see so many normal renditions, if you like, normal, whatever that is, that it is nice to see something done a little bit differently. There appears to have been a bit of mask bleeding. I'm assuming some masking was done during the stretching phase of this. So along this like golden edge, we have some regions where it's kind of bleeding in a bit of an odd way. It's not like a color mix. It's more like a mask. There is a line that I could trace my mouse around almost. Do you know what I mean? I'm like doing it now. Odd, but it's nice. Black point's a bit high, and overall I think gradients have been handled nicely. Star shape, size and color is absolutely fine as well. It's interesting to see that the star colors have stood up so well to this different palette. They almost look arguably better in color than SHO turn out. You know what I mean? Weird. But yeah, I like it. I don't think it's desperately overdone. There's a little bit of that going on with the detail on display, if we want to talk about that. Noise has been handled well, but I think detail could be peeled back just a couple of notches. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate it for what it is. You know what I mean? It's a different take on things, deliberately done. So yeah, thank you for sharing that one. Richard's Astrophotography. Process one right here. Thank you. Oh, no problem at all, Claire. I hope you didn't mind the feedback right there. I didn't realize you were still in chat. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the image. Basically, it's just that veil of color. Could be a monitor balance thing. I don't know. But yeah, my wife let me build my Hobsy in her garden, so I gave you a new patio and flower bed. That is quite fair, Simon. I would say possibly overly fair, and maybe you could take up some more of that garden with another Hobsy. Maybe. Richard's Astrophotography anyway, all jokes aside. Still get my colours a bit vibrant, whereas yours seem more natural. Okay, bit better than where I was a couple of years ago. Let's have a look then, Richard. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. So your colours are there, but they almost look bit. Oh, thank you, Chris. Bloody hell, mate. Thank you again for that support there. 5 memberships coming in hot. You're an absolute legend, Chris. I really, really appreciate your support, buddy. Massively. Welcome aboard. New members. And repeat members as well. Damien, good to see you here in chat. I don't know if you're just lurking in the background or whatever, dude. But yeah, it's always nice to see you. Super. Thank you again, Chris. On both counts, buddy. Really, really appreciate it. Richard's astrophotography. I was just about to give feedback. Allow me to just regain my train of thought. So we'll address the things that we can see with the data in this context. So there's a brightening along the bottom side. You can see this blue glow down here. Stars have turned out, they're all yellow, oddly. So they're not green, at least, like we'd seen on some of the other images, but they are yellow. So that's a little problem that needs addressing. Mainly, I think the issue that's coming through here is perhaps slightly too aggressive masking. I'm thinking it looks to me like color masking has been used on this, you know, like as you probably should. I think it works really well. But the application of the stretchers that are applied after that mask is on the image as maybe being a bit strong and maybe too many steps of it as well. So he's walked a little bit too far down the path, if you like, with it. One thing he hasn't done though is he's lost some of that dynamic range on the image. This is lovely and bright along the wall, but not actually clipped. So that's good to see. So yeah, there's things I like about the shot. There's things that definitely obviously need some work still, but Richard is well aware of that, which is great to see. Black point's a little bit dark. It's not clipped, but it is a little bit dark as well, so I will say that. But yeah, thank you very much indeed for sharing. And yeah, you're on the right track. Certainly think you're on the right track there, Richard. No room for an obsy. Staff to be satisfied with just saying rigs up next to the pool. Super. Next up, let's have a look at XF9's submission. So he's done a couple by the looks of this. I'm a one-shot colour guy. This was my first time working with a discrete Sulfur 2 channel. Okay. Lost count of how many times I tried to create something to my liking. It do be like that sometimes, yeah. In the end, I used an unorthodox approach. From HANO3, I created an image using the Dreams Please palette. Okay. Then I combined this image with the Sulfur 2 data to get the additional details. This was just a HANO3 in the Dreams Please palette. All right. And gave it another go. Much happy with the result this time around. So we'll just quickly have a look at these first two. So this to me hasn't really hit. It just looks a bit drab and brown. You know what I mean? It's brown. I don't know why I'm looking for any word to spice it up. It's brown. Quite an odd appearance. I don't know. Some of the background stars as well have turned into red dots. Very odd. Overall detail they've pulled out of the data is not bad, but the handling and noise isn't quite there. So the image overall looks a bit noisy. Just my take. But he has dealt with gradients quite well, and the black point is nearly there, but it's just fractionally dark, I would say. Next up was his second attempt, which has now turned out, I don't know, almost moving towards burgundy now, being the predominant colour. Again, taking over, it looks bicolour. Stars could stand a bit more sharpening. You can see this tight group here can be split in that data once it's been passed appropriately through some sharpening. In that, it's kind of blobbed together like a little figure eight or a snowman or something, you know, one ball balanced on another. Stars are a little better on this, but they're overall biased way too far towards reds, I think, which I don't quite like. This is just me though, you know, maybe someone out there loves this palette and that's fine. We're all different. Black point again, a bit dark. So for me again, just a bit too drab. It's lacking some punch, or really something else in the other direction. I didn't mind it when it was truly dreamy as well in its appearance, but this one's really nice. Actually, I like it. So I don't mind the fact that some of the blues have gone towards purple, as it's just really held around this middle. But I can see that there is an overall purple cast predominant through much of the image. Down here it's prevalent, you know, up here it's still here, and even in the black point as well, where it should be pretty neutral grey, dark grey, but grey all the same. It's now purple. So something's taken over there. This region doesn't really seem that affected by it, but it is still there, creeping in. Star colour on this is the best that is done, I think, but it's still a little bit red. Detail's a little bit overdone for me. Looks just a touch fake, like it's sharpened too much. No longer really representative, but it's not bad. I do wonder if sometimes I'm being a little bit harsh with my critique. I don't know, but I can only just tell you what I'm thinking, and these are my honest thoughts. So the things I do like is that a lot of this this dusty stuff going on up here has the impression of texture to it in a good way. So it doesn't look generated or false in that case. It looks fine up there. It's just along this edge, let's say, that it's a bit too sharp and stark. But the colouring, just in a very general sense, I do like it, and I think it'd look great if you could pull out that purple from much of the background. Overall, good work, I would say. So I will leave you a heart on that one, as that was my favourite. Not that I didn't want to give you hearts on them all, but, you know, in case he sees this later. I'll catch up with chat for a moment. Niovo, probably not, mate, to be honest. I'm still getting to it. I commented on that as well. Simon, you should see his rig. He's got it set up. If you want to see it, Simon, it's just in the Astro Gear thing. Mike just posted it in there for us. In fact, I'll just show it again. Look at that, mate. Is that not a dream scene? Nice green garden and a bloody pool next to some Astro Gear. Mike, you are living the dream, good sir. Anyway, let's crack on with these reviews. Everyone's process is their own touch. That's what makes your own image special. Absolutely, Chris. Yes, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Am I sometimes a little bit too harsh with the critique or what? I don't know. I feel like if I reined it back in too much, it'd lose some of its usefulness, though. You know what I mean? Balancing act. Let's just see this Tampa area, so you can see launches at the Cape. Oh, nice. That's really cool, mate. 100% Chris, but always learning too, especially with great. Oh, thank you. That's why I really love listening to the feedback. Well, I'm glad you get something from that, Mike. That's, for me, what it's all about. That's what makes it worth it. You know what I mean? I like to feel like when we do these sessions, maybe they're a little bit of a grind, having a look at that, like everybody's data and overwhelmingly, you know, having to point out negatives in a lot of pretty images. But I don't want it to be like that. It's definitely a learning opportunity. So I'm glad you're getting that from it. Sorab, good to see you. Always nice to have you in a stream, mate. SMA Sky, hello. I don't know if I said hello, but hello, as always. Ram, I will get to yours, mate, if you've done one. Oh, I didn't do one. Fair enough, mate. I posted my cat in the non-astro. Oh, we must pay the cat tax. Hang on, non-astro photos. Let's see the cat. In fact, why not have a little break? Just 2 minutes. Let's catch up on things from here. Niagara Falls. Okay. Roosevelt. Look at that. That's awesome. I had no idea they lit it up. Damn. Cool stuff. I appreciate the dampness of the shot there as well. That's cool stuff, mate. Not sure if people like these kinds of pictures, but when I like travel and go places, I like to think about when this was built. Went to this lighthouse, built in the early 1800s in New Brunswick, Canada. Gosh damn, lived in there for 10 years. Talking about lead and such and poisonous metals, lighthouses used to be floated on a pool of mercury, didn't they? Which was obviously not great when it was heated up a lot by a lighthouse lamp. Imagine what you could have seen in the skies back then. Absolutely, mate. Yeah. Cool thought. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's really nice to see you and I presume your partner there. Super. Look at the paintwork in that place though. Talk about crazed. Holy hell. Incredible. Pretty place. Really pretty place. It almost looks like the sea manages to make it up over this stuff, doesn't it? It's like kelpie. Nuts. Oh, super. Some more of your family there as well. Cool. I always like seeing people's photos, what they're getting up to. That's really awesome. I promise we'll get back to the processing challenge stuff in just a moment. Ram, what's going on with your cat? Oh my god, I hope that's mid. Is this cat like tripping on catnip or something? Currently navigating deep space. Love it, mate. Yes. My wife's cat. Oh, I had a cat who looked just like that. Called him Radley. I'll pay the cat tax happily. Superb. What a cool dude. Right, back to the processing challenge. That cat face, I know, mate. I wish in my life just once I could feel as crazy as that cat. That's absolutely mad. NGC challenge. Let's take a look at Skew's submission. So, used PixInsight and Photoshop to process the images. Thanks for the help as always to Luke. Hey, no problem at all, dude. Thank you for taking the time to process and share your work so that we can all learn from these things. So, what we've seen here is the data has been kind of turned into a bicolor appearance. Again, we're going now just into like copper, or like a copper orange and just blues. That's pretty much all that's in the image left over. So we've lost some of the tones. The image looks a little flattened, like we've seen in some of the other shots too. I'm thinking likely as a result, like someone talked about earlier, of Graxpert maybe being suboptimal in its application. I don't know. The black point has been lost. It's been taken over by a sea of greenish blue over there. So those are the downsides overall. On the upside, I think you've achieved a nice deep stretch to the image, and you've handled noise well. But the things that it could stand for is a bit more detail, particularly along these edges. We've seen that with this same data, some people can pull out considerably more from it. So yeah, I just want to obviously comment on that as I see it. And there is some evidence you can see of, I don't know, halation of some kind has been introduced as part of the processing, as I don't think we've seen this in any of the other images. That's the first time I've seen that one glowing like that. Interesting. As to star color, we sometimes talk about it. On this, there is practically no star color. It's pretty much all a neutral, very light yellow. So that's another interesting side effect of whatever processing application has gone on in this one. So yeah, interesting. I would say if you've got PixInsight, Skew, and you know, wouldn't mind, try following along directly with the tutorial that I put out on this and just see what result you get. You don't have to like it any more than, you know, your own submission. But going through the steps, I think, is an important learning thing. It can help identify why we're doing what we're doing at any given time. This is another submission from XF9. We saw those ones. So I'll leave a heart on that so we can get through that one. Are we nearly? No, we've got a bunch more to go. I will get through them, don't you worry. Is there a data file of this image? Absolutely, Tariq. Yes, mate. It is. Chris posted it just further up, actually. So if you scroll up the chat, if you've got it, Chris linked to it. Jeepers Creepers. Oh, all the way up here. Yeah. But there it is, basically, for that one. And thank you again, by the way, Chris, for your support, mate. As always, above and beyond, buddy. Maybe Luke is saving the best till last. Sorry if I missed any chat messages. Trying my best to catch up. Ahoy, old chap. Super. How's it going, mate? We actually took a look at your submissions and we went through them. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to share them, dude. As always, I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well as well. Let's see. So we paid the cat tax to RAM. We did that. We come here to we come here to be shred to pieces. Brutal. Yeah, is it that bad? Crikey. Fair enough, mate. I shan't then. No, it just feels wrong. I don't want people ever to come away with the wrong impression, like I'm just shitting on images and stuff, because I genuinely am not. I'm trying to offer feedback just as I see it. That's all there is to it from me. Nearly there, I think. Sorry, I'm just making an effort to catch up on chat. Wonder if they could do projection mapping on the falls. Maybe. That'd be cool. Just passed by, busy, enjoying, thank you. No problem, Tariq. We were on the boat and by accident tipped my glasses off my nose. All the passengers went over it. And the glasses were smashed. Oh no. I started that thinking that were going to be a funny story. It just turned out to be an expensive one. Damn. Since he sleeps 20 out of the 24 hours. Oh, you've got an active cat then if it only sleeps for 20 hours. Let's see. Start doing Astro Talks for kids. That's cool. Did he include the equipment details? SQA55, QHY Minicam 8, and the included filters. That was that. Oh, thank you, Chris. You're a bloody legend, mate. I appreciate you sharing that again. Sorab is recently been trying out DSO stacking option in ASI Air. That's cool. Pretty nice tool to gauge if more data is needed, or if it's okay to move on to another target. Interesting. I think I did a video that does jog my memory a little bit back, talking about, well, almost diminishing returns, do you know what I mean? And how long you spend on a target with today's tools, as good as they are, eliminating noise, etc. And yeah, you're always better off spending as much time as possible, but I don't know. We don't have infinite time, so you've got to decide how to spend it. It's your most important resource, of course, is time. Is there such a thing as enough data? Well, depends how good your skies are, I guess. Right, I think I've sufficiently lubricated my voice box. Cool. You keep posting new comments and you're still scrolling and answering. I'm getting there, buddy. I'm getting there. Doing my best, as always. Right then. Let's get caught up. I'm determined we're going to get through these today, so this is the job. Klaus. It's nice to see Klaus at a go at this one. Processed using its normal workflow. Okay. In Photoshop, it's done an SHO combination. Tonal contrast adjustments, sharpening, and rescreening of the stars. Interesting. So, fortunately, it's a little bit compressed, but I'll say what I can see so far. So, interestingly, we have a large bright gradient in this bottom right. My eye is obviously initially drawn to that, as we've seen it in a few images now. You can see a little brightening along the other corners too, such as here, and up here, just a touch. Black point has been lost very slightly. It's ended up more just emerged like a greenish brown colour. I think it's fair to say that. But on the upside, there is so much colour in here going on that I actually like the overall appearance of the colour. It's something different. Do you know what I mean? That Klaus has got going on right there. I will say I think the noise that's present, I can't truly tell whether it's just through compression or what has occurred, but I can at least tell you I can see some remnant stacking artifacts that's been left in this image along this right hand side, right next to the chat box. Don't know if you can see that, but it's apparent at least on here. You can see, like, let's say where the blue stops, and then we've got a band of almost no colour. So it's not been quite cropped aggressively enough. We're riding the line as well of losing some of this into it going practically white. It's not quite there, but it's getting there. So yeah, overall, there's a lot I like about it in terms of the coloration, but I feel like there's some things that's gone awry slightly during processing on this one, Klaus. But as always, mate, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to work through it, share it, so that we may all benefit from it. I think that's the key takeaway. And when viewed, you know, not just blown up massive, it's you know, really quite a pretty rendition. So thank you for sharing that. Does look kind of neat, yeah. Interesting. It's a different take on it, isn't it? You know what I mean? I do like to see that. As much as I absolutely respect when someone goes like straight down the line, goes for what we went for in the tutorial, like this, and does it. You know what I mean? He's smashed it. He's done a really good job there. It's also nice when someone goes off piste with like unexpectedly nice results. Again, it's another learning opportunity, isn't it? Right, Shorten Astro. Great day, thanks for sharing. No problem, dude. Thank you for processing it and taking the time to share back. We've gone through his processing list right here, and the final combination turned out like this. Okay. Interesting. So there's some parts of this that I really like, in that he's let some kind of knots of the like the HA regions or sulfur or something come through here. Like we've seen this on just a couple of the other images. They've let some of it come through, and you know it's probably the same stuff as whatever this is down here. Is it absolutely matches the tonal values, like here is the same, which gives an indication of the distribution of the gases in the image, which is always good. I think it adds some kind of scientific value to it, where you can nearly read the image rather than just look at it. Detail is done very well, actually. I think it's tastefully done. It's nice. He's split that little pair of stars we were talking about while retaining colour in them. You can see the difference in colour between the two. The rest of the stars have, unfortunately, kind of gone missing. They're there, but they're dim, and they're all coloured towards red and orange, which is a negative. Noise could stand a bit more noise reduction for me. Some of these flecks of gas over here, the dust rather, are looking just a touch toasted, like a little bit overdone, but not much. Overall, you know, there's a lot to like about the shot. There is a purple cast over everything, like we saw on a couple of the other shots. It's not immediately apparent unless you go looking for it in a region that you know should be one particular colour, and it's not. Like this is purple. It should be grey. But it alerts you to it then. Once your eye's drawn to it, you can see it. Oh, like, oh, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, etc. So taking the time to look for those things can be helpful, I think. If you'd gotten rid of that, it would have elevated the image just another notch. So yeah, that's why I'm pointing it out. Overall, I like it. I think it's pretty good work. Mostly successful gradient removal. There's a little bit of brightening down in this bottom corner, as you can see, along with a fold, like a turned-in edge, where again there's still some uncropped artifact left into Not much, but maybe that left-hand edge shows you it best. You can almost see out the discrete line. Yeah, overall good work. Something a little bit different, and I think useful to view. Did we look at my abominations? We did, Supra. There weren't abominations, buddy. No, I did comment on the one that had been passed through some external software that looked a bit, whoa, like a bit strong for me, but yeah. My main point is, dude, thank you for taking the time to share them. It's really important. So Mike 1959, data courtesy of Luke, and the video. Thank you, Mike, for crediting back to that dude. Thanks, Luke. No problem, Mike. No problem at all, bud. Curious is if I should also add an SPCC for the stars. All right. Or a bit of star reduction before adding them back before Luke's flow here. And I've not quite gotten all the items reinstalled for PixInsight. All right. So there's a touch of brightening like we've seen. We'll just, first thing my eye got drawn to, so we'll just talk about it along that edge. Mostly, I would say Mike's cropped out just about everything. So his cropping routine has been a success. It's just the gradient removal that left a tad bit in, I think, down there. So the things I like, the mix of the greens and the blues and the resultant teals, as well as the the discrete patches of color, I like. The black point is accurate. It's not crushed. It's still present and just about correct. I think maybe no, it's good. Maybe fractionally dark, I'm going to say, but I think it's good on second reflection. The detail that Mike's pulled out along the edge, where we're really going to look for detail, is spot on. I think I had nothing to say about that other than well done. And this little pair of stars, again, we were looking for a signifier of just how much work's been put in, and I think that's a good indication right there. Is he's turned them. You can split them if you like, and they've got a little bit of color to them. The color in Mike's stars is overall pretty darn good, leaning a little bit towards yellow for most of them, so there is that, but it's not distracting. They still look appealing, and the shape and size of them overall is great, and they are all present, so none have been lost in however Mike's, I am assuming, taking his stars out and putting them back in through proper rescreening, I think, and it's worked a treat. They've stayed, well, looking pleasant. In terms of colours and tones, though, I think the edge is overall just a little bit too orange. Do you know what I mean? It's like this fiery orange with just a hint of this goldy yellow colour along this edge, and I think there is more in there, Mike. I don't know if you're in chat still or anything, Mike, but I think there could be more coming through. We've seen it in a few images, and I reckon that the more values that you add, the more impression of depth and structure that you get from an image. You know what I mean? Almost by removing possible values from an image, you also inadvertently flatten an image and make it look more two-dimensional in a way. But I think the main points are you've done a great job overall. So there's a lot to like about it. I think perhaps one other thing I could talk about, just to touch, Mike, is that some of the masking, I'm assuming masking's been used as part of this workflow right here, could have stood maybe a fraction more feathering and just maybe one step less on the stretching on the blue. But that would just be me. It still looks great. So yeah, well done, Mike, and thank you for submitting your work as always, buddy. It's you're really coming on. It's really getting there now. You're doing some great work. So yeah, thank you. Still here in chat. Got you. Still struggling with games. That's what it's all about, Mike. That's what it's all about, mate. Don't worry about that. You just keep at it, because you're absolutely making some pretty images now. No masking that I remember, so interesting. Okay, so something else has caused like that appearance, so we're talking about, but it'll be hard to put my finger on now. I just assumed it was masking if you'd followed along with my my working, but yeah. Rebel is just a paint app that I use to export to nanopixel, which just lets you zoom in without losing fidelity. The oversharpening came from BlurX. Okay. So was there any BlurXTerminator application when the image was stretched, Supra? Because it just looked a bit too far. You know what I mean? Like something had gone and it had lost its integrity. Almost. It was still really pretty, obviously. But yeah, just for the sake of what we're talking about on this critique session, rather, I feel like it had gone a step too far, but it's still really nice. I'd just be interested to hear what you think might have caused it. You know what I mean? Directly from you. Can't trust my setup to be protected or safe from theft in my yard, so I must stay awake all the night until I'm done and folding. I really feel that, Tariq. Yeah, I get the same thing, bud. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think I've always been a little bit overly cautious about theft because when I was a kid, I had like a valuable to me possession stolen. So like I was into motorbikes a lot, and you know, I'd got a nice dirt bike, and that got nicked on my birthday of all days. Would you believe it? For Christ's sake! But anyway, yeah, I think it's left me a little bit super wary of theft now. But yeah, we're talking about something that happened, Jesus, like 20 years ago now. So, but it's still stuck with me. Photon Voyager. Okay, mate. So I mostly followed Luke's process up to the application of the masks, where I used Color Mask Mod to select each one. Okay. Corrected the stars a bit more by taking the magenta out and running an SCNR. Okay. Other deviations from Luke's process, we're running the dark structure enhance twice. Okay. And one light pass with improved brilliance. May have run HDR multiscale transform as well, but I can't remember. Fair enough, mate. Hope you like it. I wish my images would process it so well. Okay, so the data's been useful for you to have a process set. That's fantastic to hear. Color balance in the black is good. We can see, you know, it's a deep gray and black point is set accurately as well. So that's two things right away that we like. Detail across the wall. Absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing left on the table there. I think it's been taken tastefully up to the edge of like a maximal representation of the data. The stars too. You can see there is a change in color between the two, and they are splittable, so they're nice and tight. Star color overall is predominantly one color, but it's not bad at all by any sense of the word, really. And they're all present too, which is nice to see. And you'll note none of the gradients remain, so it's done a really effective job at getting rid of the gradients in the image. So down here is nice and flat, basically. The things for me that could stand a tiny bit more work, just like we were talking about on mics, perhaps another step, if possible, added targeting around these regions to make that transition rather, from these coppery reds to these yellows along the edge. Just that little bit more nuanced might be nice to see, but overall you've done a good job. Left some of the green in, I like to see that. And the oxygen stands on its own really rather well in this thing, so pretty. I think my main feedback for you would be some of the regions of it could stand a touch more noise reduction. So particularly around the middle here, I'm noticing it looks a little bit granular. Don't know if you'll be able to see that across the stream, granted that it's compressed and whatnot, but there's a bit of a granular appearance to it. You might have to like view the image in the Discord or something while I'm talking about it to get the idea of what I'm going on about. But overall, mate, it's a pretty darn good shot, and I think you've done well. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Yaromir, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming and spending some time. Super says, thank you. Yeah, I kind of just let it fly, you know. I'm in that art phase, so it's feeling a little artistic value. Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, that's fine. So, super. Thank you for letting us know about that. Super. Appreciate it, dude. I really, really do. Your last bike funders funded this observatory. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Nice way of thinking about it, Gideon. I do really miss my bikes, but I don't know, man. I'd just love to get a bike at some point again, but I'm also just aware of how bloody dangerous they are. I don't think I'm going to crash into someone, but I certainly worry that someone might crash into me and, you know, take me away from my family. I shan't really put too fine a point on it, but I'm sure you know what I'm on about. Bikes are dangerous. Equally, you've got to live, haven't you? I don't know. Anyway, I think what's more important to me right now is being alive and well for my my young family. Wigan, let's have a look at this then. So, just offered as is, processing challenge. Nice at first glance. I think the stars have taken over a touch, and it's a little bit soft when we zoom in. Obviously, you can see like Mike, etc., like we were just talking about before, etc. He pulled out a lot more detail from the nebula itself. Some attempt has been applied to sharpening the stars, as you can see by this little pair right here. But I can't decide whether it's just a little bit overdone, because all the stars now appear to be roughly about the same brightness, most of them anyway. It's you know, there's a few obviously that stand out and are bright, but much of the rest of them have lost any differentiating brightness between them. So something's gone on there. I'd love to know what it is exactly, but it's going to be hard to pinpoint without knowing more about the shot. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about though, but it looks almost like they've been just like flicked on with paint on a toothbrush and just like, phew. They're all sort of the same, the stars. Weird. Colouring's good though. I do like that. It's just a bit soft, but there's no noise. Yeah. And gradient free too, which is nice to see. So good effort, Wigan. Thank you for that. So if the scope is moved even a bit, the laptop plays at max volume. Damn. Tariq is leaving. Oh, sorry, I missed that, mate. Hope to catch you next time. Good night, Clear Skies. Same to you, Tariq. I'm sure you've probably gone, but yeah. Congratulations, channel. Good to see you again. I just came home from work and look who's live. Yes, mate. That's me. Nice to come and spend some time, bud, as always. Catch up a little bit with chat. If someone managed to take that down in the dark with my dogs waking me, you can have it. That's fair. Willie Stonker, how's it going? Yeah, that'd be worrying for me too, Tariq. Perfect theft situation, you know what I mean? Good access and good, equally good way of escape. Your scope arrived, is it? 85mm? Oh, a lens at that. 85mm f1.8. Nice. Hopefully you get the chance to test out soon, buddy. No problem, Photon Voyager. I hope you enjoyed the feedback as it was offered there. You've got 4 bikes, dude. Awesome. I understand it though. Yeah. Yadomir, I'm fine. Good stuff. Happy to join and hang out with you, taking advantage of the weather in the field. Under ball 4 skies, catching some photons. Living life, basically, Yadomir. That's good to hear, buddy. Nice. That's it, Luke. Caused my family so much stress when I got taken out by a bloody doctor rushing to hospital. Still missed 2 wheels. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. I had no idea, Chris, to be honest. I didn't know that you'd been into bikes and stuff like that, buddy. Are we into like everything the same? We both play games, both like air rifles, both like bikes, both like Astro. Am I you? What's going on? But yeah, sorry to hear that, Chris. That can't have been nice. It's just, honestly, I don't know what it's like for you guys, whether you've watched these shows, but stuff like long way round, long way down, long way up, long way home. with Charlie Bowman, Ewan McGregor, and Claudio Von Planta going on their adventures on the motorbikes, and it gives me like the wanderlust. Do you know what I mean? I just want to put my leg over a bike and go for a ride, but I can't because I ain't got one. And yeah, it's just a bit dangerous, isn't it? Properly dangerous. Good chilling with you, Simon. Heading off now, mate. Hey, no problem at all, Simon. Appreciate you as always, buddy. Thanks for coming and spending some time. It's always nice to have you here, Si. Clear skies forecast for you, Sorab. Ooh, okay. Hope it stays that way. Planning to go to the Waterfall site on Friday. Nice. Hopefully the stars, well, the moon aligns, and you get the chance to do that, dude. That'll be cool. So we don't have too many left to go, I don't think, on this, guys. We really get in there now. Let's pick up where we were. This is from Cyril. This is my version of your image. Decided to process the sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen independently in PixInsight. Created RGB stars from the SHO combined image. All right. Just having a little skim over this. Generally don't process SHO as I've got a one-shot color. Hope you'll like this image. Feel free to comment. Be more than happy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for your videos. No problem, dude. Regards from France. Well, thank you for your submission, Cyril. Absolutely. Right. There's a lot going on here. I'm getting some, like a, how can I put it, like a watery texture over the whole thing. I love the colours. Like, it's different again. It's like another different rendition. Yeah, it's like the same kind of colours that we're working with on the palette, but because they're so light and airy, it feels different in some way, which I actually really like. And he's brought out more than any I've seen so far, I think, of this this background texture that's going on that adds another depth to the shot, which is cool. Amount of detail along the edge is nice. I think we're bordering on slightly over sharpened, but it's not quite there, I'd say yet. It's just getting there. There is a lot of colour noise present in the shot, I will say that. Don't know how that's crept in. But hopefully you can see this through through the live stream. But let's say for here, just as an example, you can see like a patch of green, a patch of blue, and a patch of magenta all grouped up, and you can see that over much of the shot. Very strange. This bottom's become very bright, and yet is dealt with the gradient entirely by the looks of it, which is an odd one to see. I wonder if that's due to his completely discrete processing attempt on this. You know, where he's done all three separately and then after the fact recombined. There is a bit of a hue over much of the image that's bordering blue purple. Almost. I don't know if you can see that around where the black point, grey point, if you like, should be. And the stars are the thing that suffered the most. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right there. You can see we've got the main asterisms visible in there. Probably asterisms is the wrong term. The main groups of stars. But much of the dimmer stars are gone. Do you know what I mean? They've been lost somehow along the way, which is very odd. Could stand a bit more noise reduction. But overall, I don't know. I like the non-standard approach, and I can really respect what he's gone for. It's just I don't know why this is coming across like some sort of wavy pattern that I'm getting. I don't know if you can see that. Really weird. Cool shot though. All the same, so thank you for sharing that, dude. And I think, you know, if you could address those bits that's detracting from it, that'd be a very interesting one indeed. Well done. Sorab, good stream. Thank you, dude. I've been putting this off for so long, and I thought I'd best get through it. Gonna make something for breakfast. Enjoy the stream. Enjoy your breakfast and enjoy your day, Sorab. I appreciate that, dude, and good luck for your session too, of course. Wishing you all the best for that. Is the red spot in the middle of the image real? Good question. I assume you're talking about on this one. So we've seen it on most of the images. It is something that's present there. Possibly coming through in the sulfur channel. I don't really know. I haven't taken the time to pinpoint it, so it's just a total guess at this this point. But yes, it is something that's there in the data that we picked up. We've just never seen it kind of brought out in that way before. So yeah. Anyhow, the next shot, DC and Zona. Nolly pops in and spends some time in the chat, does DC, so interesting to see where he's been getting up to. Had some free time. Okay, not really, but I want to take a stab at this. I appreciate that, mate. I noticed that on your past you have a lot more sulfur 2 showing up in the bottom right quadrant, whereas when I combine channels, I seem to have pulled out more O3. Ah, interesting. Let me just, before I get to DC's shot, let me just try to view mine a sec. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah. I've got a lot of regions where it's like neutral grey, but also, yeah, I do have some regions where it's coming through with that kind of sulfury tone that he's talking about. And as we were just talking about the congratulations channel there, you can see evidence a little bit on my image there of it also popping through the bit we were talking about. But let me go back to DC's image now. I've just referenced what he was actually mentioning. Here we are. Went through, did another curves correction. Okay. Curious as to your thoughts on it. Watch a video later when I have a couple of hours of sleep under my belt. Fair enough, dude. Okay. Went in blind. So this is his effort at it. Gradient on O3. Okay. Let's have a look. So, I see what he's talking about. This colour is kind of non-present down here. We just talked about it on my shot. It almost looks truncated to two colours again. If you're getting that coming across on the stream, I'm always wary about how much this is getting compressed. Do you know what I mean? But the main values I can see are like yellow, a lot of yellow, and a lot of blue, with some hints of kind of purplish stuff right there coming through too. But predominantly, yeah, it's turned out almost bicolour after the process. So good points. Let's go through them. Almost complete gradient removal. It looks good. Do you know what I mean? There's just a fractional brightening down in this bottom right that I'm seeing. So next to nothing. The O3, the oxygen kind of wave, has definitely been allowed to come through and over, pushing back that wall and adding another layer of depth. Good. The dynamic range of the image is good. It looks actually really honest in terms of the dynamic range. The darkest points are the darkest points, as you would expect, and the brighter parts have been left intact. Good to see. Star shape and size, and colour's a little muted, but shape and size is nice. Detail, like we talked about, yeah, it's taken up to the edge. Could stand a fragment more noise reduction for me, but it's still, you know, it's still very pleasant. But it's like it's missing a channel. It's almost like it's missing the sulfur. Very odd. It's very odd. But still, it's a pretty rendition. I have to say, black point's accurate, by the way, as well. There is a colour cast. Hard to really pinpoint. It's a bit of a brownish tone, you know what I mean, rather than grey. Hopefully that's coming through. Is this a second rendition of it? Did he say some? Make another pass. Okay, so he's going to try. Okay. Fair enough. So, yeah, nice work, DC, overall. I'd love to see if we could get to the bottom of the curious case of the missing sulfur. Because, yeah, it's just interesting to me, is that one. Thank you for sharing, as always. Red blob's definitely real. Can see it captures good stuff. Yeah. Red I was referring to in this one, and Klaus's image. Nice one. Anyway. Sorry, Sorab. Yeah. I could not store short-term memory for 6 years. Wow. That's properly intense, Chris. Jeez, mate. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well now, buddy. Really, really, I am. Yeah, that's terrifying, mate. Some bikes were cheap because used. One I got from a bulk garbage. Oh my god, a rescue bike. Few more were added, so eventually I have to refresh. Thank you, Mike, for letting me know about that, dude. 51st date comes to mind. Images a lot of structures. It does. Isn't there in Klaus's image? Yeah. Just get in there 1 second. Goodbye, Luke. Need to make something for the breakfast. Yeah, we saw that part. And yeah, thank you again, Sorab, for coming and spending some time. Congratulations, channel was saying Velomobile. Wow. When it is dust in the background, wouldn't it be brownish then? It can be. You'd predominantly really see a brownish dust in an RGB image, you know, like in an LRGB shot. I think usually for it to be looking fairly accurate, it needs to be grey on an SHO image, I would say. I'm totally happy to be correct, though, you know, if someone's got strong feelings otherwise on it. But yeah, 39 likes and 43 watching. Hey, no problem at all. We're just here to do this, get through it, and enjoy spending some time with you guys. I will get through these, then I'll wrap things up. I'm glad we've tackled it, do you know what I mean, during this stream, because it's been bugging me that I promised people that I'd get through these shots, and then just didn't, for like ages. Just uploaded my humble rendition. Nice one, Gideon. We'll have a look at that. This is Dan's, by the way. Challenge is a great idea. Good stuff. Glad you like that, Dan. Thanks for sharing your data. Fun to follow along and deviate where I want to take a different path. Sick. That's what it's all about. Tried to give it a little bit of oomph without going overboard. All right. Right. So there's a big old gradient going on this. It's desaturated in the top right. Oddly, like to grey. The black point is slightly red. Very slight, but it is there. I can see it on my monitor. But this gradient has gone a bit mad. It's making it look like there's oxygen 3 where there isn't, kind of thing, along all this portion of the shot. Other than that, I don't mind the coloration. It's just, it's a little bit strong between just the blues and this kind of fiery orange that's going on along this edge. There's no yellows creeping in, there's no greens mixing with that blue to make that tealish true O3 colour. But there is a little bit of yellowy stuff going on down here as well. Noise reduction could stand a touch more work. The overall amount of detail that's been achieved is nice, as is the work on the stars. The stars do appear to be present as well, but they're all much of a muchness in terms of colour. So there is that as well. But yeah, there's a lot to like about the shot, Dan. I just think obviously something has gone wrong along the way in terms of that gradient, which is unfortunately kind of dominating the image. But that's what it's all about. Pointing these things out, and hopefully we all learn from them. Next challenge, the trunk. Potentially. I am wondering whether I should do more of these challenges or not, because obviously some people get like out of them. Oh, crikey. Casey, man, just comes in like a meteorite. Holy crap. Thank you, Casey. Wow. Hey, bud, you. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Thank you. Nice to see you. Hope you are doing well. Jeepers, that's just blindsided me a little bit there, Casey. I hope you don't mind. What we're doing on this one is just working through the Cygnus Wall Processing Challenge. Basically, mate, I've been promising people I'd go through it for a while. I need to be true to my word, so that's what we're doing. We're finally getting through it. Problem with this kind of image. You can't decide which one to print and hang on the wall. True. Yeah, it's been a decent stream, to be honest, Casey. I mean, obviously a little bit, I would argue, potentially in some cases, a little boring to watch. But as we know, we're looking at the same data again and again and again. But I think it's been a prime learning opportunity for us all. I've certainly feel like I've picked up things going along from this. So yeah, hopefully I'm not alone in that. But man, thank you very much for that, Casey. You are incredibly kind, buddy. It's made my night. I really, really appreciate it. That's above and beyond. Appreciate you, dude. Allow us to take a look at Steve G's submission using Graxpert and Photoshop. Okay, so no PixInsight on this. Interesting. So the first thing I'm going to say right away is the coloration is nice. I like what is achieved overall. Sure, it could have gone a little bit more towards reds down along the bottom of the wall, where it is really just predominantly sulfur, and around the bottom of here too. But as it stands, it's nice. It's you know, I don't have anything negative basically to say about it. Black point is fairly accurate. I think fractionally high for my taste. The amount of detail is achieved along the wall is pretty good. You know, if we've seen some people who've achieved like a 10 out of 10, this is potentially somewhere up at about a 7 out of 10. I think there's more in there that could be pulled out with just a little careful tweaking, but it's not bad. The stars could stand a bit more work though, I will say that. So this tight group right here that we've seen split successfully on a bunch of other people using this same data is actually just a blob on this. It's kind of an elongated little strip. So there is that. On the flip side, he has got a fair bit of colour in his stars. You can see differentiation between them, which is pleasant to see. They do look a bit blocky though, I also will say that. I don't know whether he's maybe rescaled this image or something to get it on the posting limit for size. So a lot of the stars now are coming out looking undersampled and square fractionally, you know what I mean? Oh, hang on. I've got a new one for the list. The Water Magician. Casey, I am literally going to add it right now. I get my Casey list. Oh, crikey. Mike! Bloody hell, mate. Thank you. I really, really appreciate the support, guys. That is mega. You're absolute legends. I can't say thank you enough. I really do hope and pray that you know that means an awfully great deal to me. It does. The support means everything. You know, that people would do that. It's such a nice thing. And yeah, I think you're fantastic. And I'm not just saying that. Before it goes out of my head, I will write this down. Thank you for that, by the way, Casey. The suggestion there. The Water Magician. Sorry. I write like a 3-year-old, so my Casey list is getting long. I've literally written down all the recommendations you've given, Casey. Crikey, thank you both again. Oh, and Gideon as well. Oh my goodness, mate. What are you guys like? Thank you, Gideon. Thank you again, Mike. Thank you again, Casey. Thank you again, Chris, for earlier as well. You're absolute legends, all of you. Really, really means an awfully great deal to me that you support what we're doing here and my family so much. Thank you. Buy a bag of coffee beans for the obsy. Oh man, I tell you, Gideon. I really did splash out at one point and bought myself a nice coffee machine from Costco when they were on a deal, and I think it was one of the best chunks of money I've probably ever spent. I had a look the other day at how many coffees I've put through that machine. It's like a bean to cup thing, and it was already above 4,000 drinks made. So certainly done some work, mate. I have to figure out what to print with 45 kilos of filament. Holy hell. You went hard on the filament, dude. That's intense. Is the water magician the guy who's responsible for all this rain? Yes. I'm imagining so. Compensate by watching the stream. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Crikey. Thanks so much, guys. I will finish my feedback on this this rather attractive image. I do like the light feel of it, by the way. I will say that. It's very, very bright and airy. It doesn't feel like closed in or anything like that. Some of the stars have got out of hand, like these bright ones here. A little bit dominating the image, but I don't massively mind them. Yeah, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like. I think you've done a good job. Given you haven't used PixInsight there as well, Steve. I've no idea what it's like processing in Photoshop, so yeah, good stuff. Didn't realize until it was delivered yet. That's so much filament. Print a 45 kilo Benchy. You'd be able to get in it. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, crikey. Obviously I'm like selling stuff that I'm 3D printing, and typically I'll buy 4 kilograms of filament at a time. And it lasts 3 weeks or something like that. And that's powering 4 different machines. Jeez. That's going to take some time to get through. If you don't already have one, KC, depending on what type of AMS unit that you got, whether it's the AMS or the AMS2, you may want to look at purchasing a filament dryer. It can make your printing so much more reliable. Wet filament can be an absolute nightmare, even if it doesn't immediately feel damp. Yeah, no worries, Gideon. We'll absolutely get to it, mate. I've started, so I shall absolutely finish with this. We are working through them all today. I don't think we've got massive amounts of shots to go. I think we have gone through most of them, actually. I can see yours. We'll do yours while you're here, Gideon, actually. We're going to get them all. So, NGC 7000, Cygnus Wall, as shot by the Apo 120. It's nice to see data from that scope again. With the 183 MC Pro. Okay, so this is dual band data. Oh, it's actually tri-band data because it's used an O3S2 filter. 2 hours for each filter. Just the first iteration. Nothing fancy. Comment away. Okay, mate. What I can already see, my background is not black. It could have been beneficial to remove some blue. I'll have to make a new iteration soon. Okay. So, underwater vibes is what I'm getting, actually. Interestingly enough. Yeah, the background is a little bit blue. When zoomed in on this, I almost feel like we're scuba diving and this is a coral formation. Getting a little bit imaginative there, but you know what I mean. The other thing I can see, so perhaps, I don't know if it's the 183 and some remnant amp glows maybe left in from calibration. So the top, I can see a slight magenta glow right there. And I can also see a little glowing around like here. Not too much. But if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn that's like where the starburst amp glow pattern comes from in like 183s. So maybe it's something like that left over. How are you doing, Chloe? Right. Felix, all right? Ah, good stuff. We're just getting through these last few images, love, and yeah, enjoying last stream. All right. Yeah. Hello, Sonny. He's got big eyes on. He's looking at me. Do you want to see him, actually? Oh, Claire as well. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for your passion and support of the Astro community. My pleasure, Claire. You guys make it truly an honor. Let me just, I want to show off my son, obviously. Come here. Oh. Just pull your ear. Now then. Have you got anything to say to people? Hmm? Look at this little rascal. Tell you what, he's coming on now. I feel like he's growing so much. Hello. What are you looking at? Look at the thickness of these legs. Gonna be an athlete. Whee. doing some bouncies. I don't know. You're going for that microphone. You got things to say, haven't you? He'll be taking over the live streams very shortly, I think. Come on, you rascal. I'm sorry, I'll have to give you TM1. Sorry about that. A little bit of a baby diversion on the go there, you know what I mean? Right. Oops. Thank you again, Claire, and and welcome aboard, Lex, as well. Appreciate the support, guys. Everybody. I truly do, and I couldn't say it enough. But yeah, I hope you know that it is appreciated. Right, let's crack on with Gideon's image. So, my gut feeling, Gideon, is that some of the HA in your image has ended up suppressed somehow. It looks like the sulfur component has maybe taken over a bit more. Maybe I'm talking nonsense, but regions of the face of the wall right there have almost vanished. You know, like this turned out to be very low contrast, whereas some of them we've seen like it looks like a head of cauliflower or something. It's really textured and present the whole way across. Like the back of this is almost blended in. So that's an interesting thing, I think, that we can observe from your shot. Obviously, you've got tons of resolution, bags of it. You could park a bus in that gap between those two stars. Great to see that, and other little signs of high resolution too. I think there's probably more in your data in terms of the amount of resolution that you've got here. You could sharpen it likely a bit further. Just my gut feeling. Overall, mate, I like it. I think there are obviously things you're already aware of, and little things that need working on. So I don't know how well this is going to come across what I'm talking about now. I'm trying to find a good example. Some of the stars are getting dipped around, so not quite dark donuts around them, but there is something going on. So we've got darker regions around stars. Perhaps some sort of rescreening might be needed to be looked into. Holy crap, I'm absolutely choking. Let me just get a drink. Whew. Wow. Sorry about that, chaps. That must have been terrible to listen to. My voice just giving up in real time. Saw that, don't know where did there. It's worth a redo. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Oh, thank you, Lex. I appreciate that, mate. Maybe I need to do the channels separately before I combine. I would probably do that, Gideon. Yeah, take out those channels and treat them as discrete, if you like. You know, treat it like you're processing standard SHO data, and apply that sort of workflow to it. That might be a good way to balance up what we're seeing, because that's the overall feeling. Is like the channels are a little bit out of balance. But yeah, thank you for the feedback, Luke. Great stream again. Turning in for the night. Good stuff. Hey, thank you for your submission, Photon Voyager. Sorry it's taken me so long to get to these. By the way, guys, I know a few of you are in chat who've been watching it, but yeah, appreciate it. I really do. It's been a good learning opportunity for all of us. Didn't know my photography had that effect on people. Oh, not at all, mate. Not at all. It's like I say, just a thing I saw. Hopefully it's useful feedback to you though, Gideon. I would not want you to feel like I'd just been ripping your image apart, like I say, or something like that. I'm trying to be just honest and helpful. It's a Steve G. I'm sure we looked at this. Did we? Yes, we did. I just didn't leave a heart on it. There we go. Yeah, we looked at Steve's. Astro Florida, Brian. Okay. From a Portal 9 zone, no less. Okay, so this is Brian's own data. Taken in the context it's offered immediately right here. You can see there's some purple going on. Whoa. Jakob with 500 check. thanks for all the good work you do, buddy. Keep it up, mate. That's so kind of you. Thank you very, 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 very much indeed. Honestly, I know I keep going back to it, guys, but hand on heart, couldn't do this without your support. And my goodness, you don't leave me hanging with the support. You come in so strong. And it's such a fantastic feeling that knowing that you guys have got my back like that. It's incredible. I feel so lucky, basically. And it is thanks to you that I can do this, and I never lose sight of that fact. So I want you to know that it means the world to me. Truly it does. Thank you all. It really, really does. I will press on. Thank you again, by the way. I can't say enough, and I really mean it. So this is Astro Florida, Brian Diaz. There's some big patches of magenta left in this shot, and you can see some of it around the brighter stars too. This is a really common thing that you see in SHO imagery. This aircon's drying out my nose. I have to turn it off. But it's interesting that it's coming through in patches on this image. There's some huge structures of detail in this that's coming through really strong. You love to see it. There's a lot of resolution on display. Equally, I feel like some of the background has ended up a bit wishy-washy and nondescript. So this is hyper detailed down here, for example. But like, let's say here, which we've seen a lot going on in some of the other shots from people, it's kind of just a bit blotchy overall. Do you know what I mean? Which I don't know. I don't feel like it adds to the image in that. I feel like perhaps could be more care applied to process in those regions as well. The darker segments are coming through lovely. There is obviously that colour cast that we discussed, like a purplish, magenta-ish cast going over. No problem, it's just approximately $20. Dude, honestly, it's such incredible support. Like, you know, whatever it is, be it $1 that comes through, I really mean it. I can't say thank you enough. Yeah, you guys give me the opportunity to do something I love doing, and do it as my job, and be able to like support myself and my family through it, and just recently make some really big changes as well, really for the positive, and it's thanks to you. And yeah, obviously we need to talk about that at some point, but it's a lot to go into on just one stream, I suppose. But yeah, I want you to know that when people make donations to support, it really does directly support. I'm not wasting money on random stuff. You're literally helping us out month to month. It's mega. Yeah, it is mega. Some nice support tonight from you guys. Absolutely, Chris. Truly it is. So many kind hearts. Yeah, this is just such wonderful people we've got in this community. Never lose sight of that. So yeah, the things I like about your shot, Brian, this wonderful detail along the edge, it catches your eye, it draws your eye in, which is great. The downside is some of the areas to the left, there's not much going on. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like there could perhaps be a little bit more hiding in there. And some of the colours are a little blotchy that's been left in. But yeah, there's a lot to like, and I thank you for sharing it. Absolutely. God, I've got such an itchy nose tonight. This room's killing me at this moment in time. Sorry, chaps. We're nearly there anyway. We are nearly there. Ken, 66.99, second attempt. Okay. So stars are taking over a little bit, and they are very green on the shot. It's a little lacking in detail. It's kind of blurred. So the noise reduction that's been applied has been applied just non-discriminatory. It's been on everything. No not really aiming to preserve detail, it appears. Just literally just a almost Gaussian blur, and get rid of it that way. Black point's not bad, fractionally bright. Most gradients are reasonably well dealt with, but there is an entire band across the top. You can see that that's been left in, so like a purplish band. Right hand side is not bad. Bottom right is brightened and uncropped. As you can see down there, there's actually a pocket of pretty much null data down there. The colouring, overall, I think I quite like. It's just, it needs the green dialing back a touch. Leave some in, absolutely, but I think it does need dialing back a bit. You can see a bit more of that structure going on, even in this, which is nice to see. But yeah, there are things I like about that. So thank you very much indeed for sharing. I do like as well that he's got a lot of this kind of sulfur background nebula going on too. That's like we talked about before. One of the key things about this, when it's processed in this manner, in particular the SHO palette, it can have a real layered effect and give almost extra dimensions to the image. You can see that looks like it's the background and the oxygen's in the foreground and it's spilling over the wall. And you know, he hasn't lost that as part of his processing, so that's nice to see. But yeah, thank you for sharing that one, dude. Next up, Matto Golf. I can see this one. Scourger 150. Okay, 150 PDS. I like those scopes. An L Extreme 1.25 inch, a 294 MC Pro, and a Bada MPCC Mark III. Okie dokie. 53-minute subs. His goal was 10 hours, but he just couldn't get the data. Been there, dude. Pretty much every time I start an image, it ends up like that. Usually don't care about the stars on my photos. Any ideas how to improve it? E.g. better star color. Okay. Use a lot of software. Not using PixInsight from start to end. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Right then. So let's take a look at what's on offer. So obviously we've got some pattern noise going on in this. So I'm assuming you're already dithering because I'm not seeing no long streaks of hot pixels or anything, but maybe up the amount of dither that's going on. That might help get rid of some of this kind of grain that we're seeing across the image. Or just tackle it with traditional noise reduction techniques, but it's hard to say really at this point what would be the best. I think both would be the best. Make sure you're dithering frequently and a lot. And then tackle your noise as well on top of that. And that's the best, the multi-pronged attack. The colours are good. I don't mind the colours at all that you've achieved in the image, especially given that it's dual band data. I think you've done well with regards to that. Star colours, if you pull the stars out of the image and separately saturate them, that might help preserve a little bit more star colour for you, because I can see what you're talking about. Your stars are predominantly just white. So there is that, but at least they're present. You know, they're a little bit diminished in terms of the values, but they are mostly present, which is good to see. And I think one last little look, like it's largely gradient free, and the detail on display is getting there, but it could stand a bit more, I think, in terms of deconvolution and noise reduction. So I think those are the big steps. Your black point's not bad at all. So yeah, there's a lot to like. Overall, well done, and thank you for sharing that. Howdy, smooth one. How's it going, Steve? Nice to see you, mate. Finished the calculus 2 midterm. Ooh, damn. Well, I'm sure you'll have absolutely smashed it. So yeah, I won't say good luck. I know you're gonna have smashed it, dude. So yeah, congratulations is what I'll say. Has he been biting that, Chloe? Oh, he's getting busy, is Felix. Right, we've got last few images. I could have sworn I just saw one there as well. So Tom M, let me just try to get comfortable a moment. But no, in all seriousness, Steve, yeah, well done, and good luck. Not that you'll need it. I'm sure you've smashed it. 140 APO, 294 MM Pro, AM5, 44 5-minute HA subs, 38 5-minute O3 subs, and 37 5-minute S2 subs. Just under 10 hours over 3 nights. That's not bad. Post-processing, APP, PixInsight, Grexpert, SETI Astro Statistical Stretch, BlurXTerminator, StarXTerminator, and NoiseXTerminator. Cool. Okay, so at first glance, ridiculously detailed. It really looks like striking when viewed like this. So let's see what it looks like when we zoom in, because overall, the coloration's nice. It's not overdone, but it's there. You know, it's you can see some separation in the colors, what's going on. So like this band of sulfur around here leading into these very strong HA edge. Looking lovely. A little bit of kind of purplish, magenta-ish dappling creeping in over some of it, but it's not distracting overall. Mostly gradient free, except for a slightly brightened top that I can see going along right there as a strip, likely as a result of a stacking artifact. Now as we zoom in, yeah, the detail is mega on this. It's like really, 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 really detailed. So that's frankly fantastic. Not only have we split these stars comfortably, but we've got, you know, distinguishing rather between the colors and sizes of them. You can see this is a blue one, this is a red one, different sizes. That's a really good sign of high resolution. Doesn't actually look overdone. It looks pretty darn natural, so stonking to see that. Looks like some of the smaller stars are lost, unfortunately, and I am seeing some texture in the background. So whatever's been used to, I'm assuming, tackle noise or detail has unfortunately textured some of the background. So there's been a degree of hallucination happening. So I'm going to say with almost certainty, we might have seen some data here that's been stretched very slightly. And then had some of these AI processing tools applied. But yeah, it's hard to really pin your finger on, I suppose, when I'm just looking at someone's finished result. But there's a lot to like about it. Yeah, it's such a detailed shot with a tight crop that, like on a wider field, I might feel like this was overdone. Let's say these wisps of nebula. In context with this, I think it's just in keeping with the shot. So yeah, the things I don't like I said, mainly just this texturing that's going on. It looks a bit unnatural, a little bit manufactured. So if you could process to this quality without that, that'd be incredible. And also just slightly lower the gradient that's going on at the top there. Super though, good stuff. Really, 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 really good stuff, Tom. Well done. We're certainly not finished. I know there's a few more to tackle. Are you, Chloe? Okay, I'll be in to see you shortly, love. See you, Felix. Apparently he's super awake now when he shouldn't be. He should be getting ready to go to sleep, the little rascal. My C-Star S30 is called the Dwarf Free. A C-Star S50 would be interesting, yeah. C-Star S30 Pro pushed out to January 2026. Interesting point for you chaps on this. Thank you very much, Mo, for an 85% tough glass for an old guy like me. Mate, you know, the fact you're there, I've got every faith in you. Yeah. Let me just see you shortly, love. 6 hours later. Yeah, got some bad news actually to share with you randomly. My C-Star S30, I went to get it out the other night. I wanted to actually start using it for a little bit of content. Turns out it's broke. The head is broke on it. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, to be honest with you. It's like it's... I can show you if you like. If anybody'd like to see it anyway. It's like it's sheared. Almost. It's kind of hanging on by the wires. Now I know for a fact I've not mishandled it or broken it or anything like that. So all I can think of is maybe it was damaged at some point during shipping and it's just given way after some use or something like that. Or I know that my family would just say, oh, by the way, I knocked that telescope over or something, if that kind of thing happened as well. But nobody else really comes in here apart from me and Chloe, so yeah, weird one. Luke in his observatory, eyes blood run, screen. Yeah, I think we've spent enough time chatting, and I've been like consciously trying to make, you know, efforts to read chat and look away from the screen for a bit. It's stopped me from going colorblind a bit, which I might have done otherwise. Animated my version in Blender. Whoa, got flash banged by the audio. That's quite a cool effect though. Nifty. I feel like I'm watching a 1990s science documentary. Here we view the Cygnus Wall. Don't know why it's an American who's voicing over it, but it is. Anyway, may not have gone colourblind, but apparently I'm going a bit mad. So yeah, I shall move on. That was my own. Tom Prescott. Let's have a look. Thanks for the fantastic day, and no problem, Tom. Gives something to process while waiting for my primary mirror to come back from Orion. Okay. Carl Sagan. Oh, can you imagine? Anyone out there producing spectro photographically correct processing? Who and where to see it? I think the closest, truest representation to that you're going to get cosmic ray is either using Serial or PixInsight if you have it, and passing your data through spectrophotometric color calibration, then giving it a stretch and pretty much applying no further processing, and that would give you a fairly honest look at the data. If you did have PixInsight, I would also recommend setting up the Mars tool for multi-scale, not multi-scale gradient correction. It is a kind of a gradient correction anyway. That's and that's done from reference data, so that should also be true. If that's what you're looking for, true like integrity of the data, if you like. Maybe 3D print a new base and figure out a way to reattach it. Possibly Milkman. I tell you what, I'm going to show you it just so you can have an idea. But yeah, it really kind of pissed me off a bit, to be honest, to see that happened. Right, back in 1 second. I'll grab it. Woo. Sorry. I sneakily took the opportunity to go take a wee as well. Right, I'm going to show you the sea star damage that we're looking at. Right. Be prepared for Astro Gore. Are you ready, chaps? Oh. And also, if that wasn't enough, it's not good. It's totally just... yeah, it's knackered. God knows how that's happened, though. You know what I mean? I almost wish I'd knocked it over at this point, because it's still broken, but at least I'd know how the hell it had happened. Super weird. I will say, there's one thing that I've not actually taken enough attention. What's the dwarf? That's totally the wrong way to phrase it, but I'm going with it. It's a pretty robust design, the dwarf. Do you know what I mean? It's held at both ends. It feels robust. But it's, you know, it'd be hard to really crack it and smash it, I imagine. And the bottom is on a friction clutch too, so you can freely just move it. No, you know, you're not going to bump into that and break it off. So that's perhaps something that I've failed at pointing enough attention towards. What? Yo, okay. Robust but weird. Where the hell's my controls gone? There they are. Right. Sorry about that. It is, mate, yeah. I've messaged ZWO to ask for advice. Because I haven't had it that long. So, yeah. Nice to see what they say about the darn thing, but that's sucks, doesn't it? Tom Prescott, anyway, we're going to look at this image. Thanks for the fantastic day. No problem, dude. And his coloration's wonderful. That's my immediate, the impact of it is there. I'm like, wow, this is pretty. He's certainly got plenty of detail out of it. He's even managed to hint at the size difference between those two stars, like we saw in the very high resolution shot beforehand that someone had sent and shared with us. The colours there as well too, so he's done a great job there. Star colours, there is some differentiation. You know, there's some white ones, reddish ones, yellowish ones. So, you know, we're seeing a pretty decent spread actually overall. Not much noise to speak of, a little bit of granularity in some of the fainter regions, but he's applied some, you know, a decent deep stretch to this, so it's to be expected. Yeah. Black point's pretty accurate. There's a slight mist of blue over the black point. Again, it's not massively distracting. The first thing you notice on an image like this is the light, airy, but saturated colours. And yeah, I like it. I think he's done a really nice job there, Tom. The feedback I can give, like I said, would mainly just be on this region of kind of bluish background up there. Other than that, stonking. Really lovely image. S30 went back twice for electronics issues. After a second fix, it works great. Crikey, I'm sorry to hear that, Cosmic Ray. Using it to play cricket. No, literally, I went to grab it. I had every intention of actually gathering some data and starting to make another video around smart telescopes, as I think there's a lot to offer from them. However, that immediately got quashed when I picked it up, set it down, and thought, hang on, this thing's just hanging on. Shocking. Gotta run. See you soon. Thank you again, by the way, Claire. Not just for your submission, but also for your kind donation too. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Dwarf is a better design, less lever enforcers. Love my Dwarf 3. Yeah, I think that's fair to say now, dude. Now I've experienced a breakage. I am a little bit wary of free arm designs. I mean, why not make that part of even cast metal? You know, like die cast or something like that. Die cast's not great. It's cracky stuff, but can't see it having given away like that has. That's really weird. And I don't even know what's done it. Who's Andy Weller? Sorry, this one. Andy Weller. No further detail offered, but it's a good wide shot of the wall and the pelican, actually, as well. Going to bed too, like Claire. Oh, fair enough. Was Felix using it? Not quite, mate, no. Maybe one day. Much too big for the focal length of the Dwarf. Yeah, I'd like to actually take another look at the Dwarf soon. I've just updated its firmware today. As I do like the device, and the data polishes up well in software, even if it's not quite the prettiest out of the box. Speaking of pretty, though, I have to say, mostly this is it's getting there. You know what I mean? This shot from Andy, there's a bit of a color cast going across the image. It feels like it's bluer in the bottom left, going towards like a brownish reddish top right. I feel like that's the direction of the color cast anyway. And some regions of the background is desaturated. So like here we've got grey background where I'm really feeling like it should be oxygen. Over here a bit more like this region. So some hits and some misses with masking, I'm assuming. On this thing overall. Could stud a little bit more colour down in the wall, particularly that might have benefited a bit from some of those reds creeping in rather than just, you know, here's a block of yellow. His stars look fantastic though, so that's one thing I do like about it. The work around the wall there, it looks lovely. Yeah. Overall, I like it. I feel like it's not too pushed one way or the other. Little noisy, but nothing too bothersome. A nice shot, Andy. Thank you for sharing it. And I think, like I said, the thing to work on this, the main thing that draws my eye away would be that kind of gradient. It's in there, so figuring out how to pull it out fully would be the next step. Certainly, I think. Have we just about cracked this case? Just about. It's two more. Jakub, not happy with the colour palette, probably process it again soon in a more colourful manner. Okay. SQA55, 533MC, and SV Bonnie, 7nm dual band filter, 10 hours of integration. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like there's certainly more to be had from this image. Lovely and detailed, I will say that. Stars could stand a touch of work, like the pair that we keep referencing as the night's gone on. Right here have turned into a blotch rather than a pair of stars or even a snowman. A lot of the larger stars have suffered the same fate, really. They've gone a bit supernova on us, so that's odd to see. Colour is largely gone from the stars, I will say that. They're mostly just a greenish blue, and that's about it. The pelican is probably the strongest part of the image for me. I actually really... I don't mind that region. Like if you just crop this out and then rotate it 90 degrees, it'd be a decent pelican shot, to be fair. But that's not to say I dislike the wall. It's just that the contrast has been lost a bit. Some parts of the wall have become a bit too bright for my taste. Like up here, this little region here has gone a touch white. Black points set pretty good. A little bit of green bleeding in. At least to my eye on my monitor, it looks like a bit of green is bleeding into that background. But overall, mate, there's a lot of data there, and it looks like a good set. I think you've got more to do with that, as you've said yourself. So that's only fair. And Ram. I think we're finishing here with Ram Abraham. By the way, good night to you guys who are going, Claire and Gideon. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I certainly do. Yeah, it's been a good one. We're nearly done anyway, so 4 hours only with dual narrowband, 533 SV Bonnie 220. Okay. Sharpstar EDPH3 at 270mm, is that correct? ED60, something like that. I ate some data from the wall. I'm aware of that. I was still the king of noobs, and this was one of my first images. Ball 7 from Prague. Okay. Well, overall, mate, I think, at first glance, it's a nice shot. obviously, as you've alluded to, there's some colour's been lost. So much of this structure along the edge of the wall has been whited out, and it kind of looks like it's now a snowed on mountain or something, you know what I mean? Rather than much observable shape to that gas. So there's been some negative overlap there that's caused an issue. Your black point's good and actually set to be pretty black as well, in terms of no color bias. I think there's a lot more in this data RAM. It's obviously a bit compressed as well, I can see that, but I'm trying to look past it, what's going on. But yeah, mate, I think you're on the right track. It's one of those things where, and I've done it myself, you're probably going to need a few cracks of the whip at that one, because there's a lot going on in a wide field shot and it's hard to get right. Sometimes, as hard as it is to shoot at long focal lengths and really crop in on stuff, it can also be a bit of a blessing because the framing is less complicated. You've got like, you know, your main target, your eye is drawn to. You can just process this without worrying about the rest of this, what's going on up here. Like we've seen in some images, you get like people taking a wider shot and they fixate on what they're paying attention to at the time, which we all do, naturally. And it comes at the cost of the rest of the shot. I'm not saying you've done that, but it's easy to do on a wider shot. So there is a certain skill to wide field processing. I think we've just about hit him. Oh, you're still here, Ram. Fair dude, yeah. Have you ever conversed with people who astro image process for the scientist as a professional trade? No, mate. No, I haven't really talked to spoke. I think it would be more correct to say talked. Haven't spoke to really anybody about these things. It's more just learning by doing. That's all it's been for me. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know whether it's my place to say. While I might not be the greatest astro imager around, I certainly feel like I've got a reasonably trained eye and I can spot problems in images pretty fast. Just like you might have a boxing coach who's not a world champion himself, but he certainly can coach a world champion. Maybe it's that kind of sort of thing going on. I'm not saying I'm a world champion astro image guy, but you know, I just feel like I'm capable of looking at an image and spotting problems and good points. Just practice. That's all it is. Do not like tree scaling in my shot. Just shooting M16. Yes, mate. I've just had that problem, Lex, to be honest. Don't know if you saw my recent M16 shot, but yeah, I've got a short window, dude, to take an image, and it's been turning out all right. Overall, well worth the effort. Taking my best shot yet, I'd say, of M16. Where is it? It's somewhere down here. Crikey, where is it, Lukey boy? Here we go. Yeah, just a recent one. So this was like a case of skimming houses and trees. So I feel your pain, dude. Certainly do. Have to go now. No worries at all, mate. It's been a pleasure having you here. I have to pick up my sister-in-law from work. Been a great stream as always. Hope you have a very good day. I hope the same for you, mate. Yeah, genuinely. 2.5 more hours to go before I can start my imaging tonight. Nice. Still think your painting experience and the way you share and provide feedback is such a great benefit to the community. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, possibly mixing colours and stuff is key to painting, obviously, and I'm no great painter either. I'm certainly not going to pretend like I am. But again, I've had a little bit of practice doing stuff like that, and it does help you pick out colours. Quite probably. My wife always told me I was colourblind, and that's why she never let me paint. Oh no! Don't let that put you off, Mike. It's never too late to pick up a brush, I would say. It's a really nice way to spend an afternoon. As it happens, I've got a friend coming round at the weekend, who I don't get to see that often. And when we do get together, as mad as it sounds, we do a painting. We have a cracking time doing it. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing. What did you shoot your M16 with? Celestron Edge HD 11 and a 533 mono camera from Player One, the Ares mono, and the reducer as well for the Celestron. So it gives a tight field of view, but at least a little wider, and I can get M16 in context with the rest of the accompanying structure. But yeah, overall, pretty happy how it turned out. Some lovely stuff been posted in this Discord, by the way, chaps. And I realise I've really tested your patience probably tonight by focusing so much on just the wall. But as I've said, I promised people I were going to take a look at the data, and I have been meaning to, but it's taken me a while to have a go. But we've done it now. We've given feedback, and more importantly, I think we've finished the night further along than we started it. I feel like I've picked up things. Hopefully you guys do too. And if so, it's been a good way to spend a few hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's some serious vocal length. It is, bud. Yeah. Yeah, ultimately I feel like it's time well spent, and I can't thank you enough. Again, chaps, by the way, I'll say it a million times, and I'll mean it every time I say it. The support has been out of this world. Truly, I thank you. Truly. Astro image finger painting, maybe. It could be. No, usually Ray. I think we end up painting landscapes, that kind of thing. To be fair, when he comes around, it's just been a bit of fun. Glad you got through all the way. Yeah. I'm thinking, Mike, about that, whether I should just, I don't know, I could download the video on demand, or I could let people know it's been done as part of the live stream, because then they'll get it, to use that phrase again, in context with the rest of the stream, you know what I mean, as we've been going through stuff. But yeah. Super. Right then, chaps, it's been real. As I say, I just want to let you know again. Honestly, like, hand on heart, the support is truly appreciated, and I cannot possibly thank you enough. I just want you to know that it means the world to me and my family, and I appreciate the opportunity you give me by your support, letting me do this that I love so much. So yeah, I just want you to know it doesn't go unappreciated, truly. And I think we will wrap things up, basically, chaps, at just about that. And I will catch you in the next live stream. I've got to definitely go do dad stuff now, otherwise I'll really be in the bad books with Chloe. No problem, Steve. And good luck, truly, mate, on your test results there, mate. I'm absolutely sure you'll have got it. Yeah. Have a great night, morning. Will do, Mike. Will do. Same to you guys. Paint by number colouring book series. Can you imagine? Coming soon to an Amazon near you. Yeah. All right then. Super. Have a really, really lovely day and the rest of your week and your weekend, chaps. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Clear skies.